Okay, folks, here we are.
Good evening. We have returned from from closed session at 6:03 p.m. And it's so nice to see everyone here this evening. All in attendance will be led to the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Raimundo Hernandez, Specialized Transition Adult Resources and Skills STARS Program student.
Please stand. Put your right hand over the heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, that was terrific. There is a closed session report tonight. On a motion by Angelina Pride and second by Carrie Chen, the Board of Education ratified a settlement agreement with employee number WW5948301, which includes a suspension without pay. The vote of the board was as follows: Carrie C. Chen, yes; Lynn Evankamp, yes; Donna Friedman, yes; David M. Malkin, yes; Angelina M. Pride, yes. On a motion by Angelina Pride and second by Lynn Evankamp, the Board of Education ratified a settlement agreement with employee number GV2382211, which includes a suspension without pay. The vote of the board was as follows: Carrie C. Chen, yes; Lynn Evankamp, yes; Donna Friedman, yes; David M. Malkin, yes; Angelina M. Pride, yes. On a motion by Carrie Chen and second by David Malkin, the Board of Education ratified a settlement agreement with employee number B1781544, which includes a suspension without pay. The vote of the board was as follows: Carrie C. Chen, yes; Lynn Evankamp, yes; Donna Friedman, yes; David M. Malkin, yes; Angelina M. Pride, yes. On a motion by Lynn Evankamp and second by Carrie Chen, the Board of Education approved the dismissal of employee number KG9670918 from all district employment. The vote of the board was as follows: Carrie C. Chen, yes; Lynn Evankamp, yes; Donna Friedman, yes; David M. Malkin, yes; Angelina M. Pride, yes. On a motion by David Malkin and second by Carrie Chen, the Board of Education approved the settlement agreement and release with Perez firm. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Sorry. The vote of the board was as follows: Carrie C. Chen, yes; Lynn Evankamp, yes; Donna Friedman, yes; David M. Malkin, yes; and Angelina M. Pride, yes. Next, we are going to move to board recognitions. I am going to turn it over to Dr. Mitchell at this time.
Perfect, thank you. We have some students that we would like to recognize this evening. I'm going to ask Dr. Zamora to please come to the podium, and for the board to please come down to the floor.
Thank you. Tonight, we are honoring the Rowland High School's girls volleyball team. The Rowland High School girls volleyball team had the most successful season yet. For the first time in Rowland's history, the team reached the CIF semifinals and qualified for the CIF state tournament. In total, the Raiders competed in 7 playoff matches and extended their season over a month. The team's tenacity and hunger to win were the driving forces to their success. Please join me in congratulating the following team members who are present: Mandy Lynn, our principal, Mr. Brenner, and our coach, Valerie Valera.
All right, ladies, we're going to have you come around towards the center so we kind of set our view here. There we go. Perfect. All right, 1, 2, 3.
That one Gina tonight.
Parents, any others for parents? You want to come to the aisle and take a picture? You're welcome to. Embarrass your daughters. You're welcome, ladies. Congratulations.
Our principal is staying up here because we're also honoring our Rowland High School's girls tennis team. This is the first year that the Lady Raiders tennis team reached the CIF finals. Their hard work and dedication were truly a remarkable feat. The Lady Raiders not only excelled on the court, but off the court as well. The girls finished the season with an overall record of 22-3, which included the results from the first serve tournament, their season, and their CIF playoff run. They were undefeated going 10-0 in the Valle Vista League while entering the 3 first-team Valle Vista All-Academic Team representatives and 2 CIF individual qualifiers. Please join me in congratulating the following team members. We also have our coach here. I'm sorry, Jake.
Nice.
The following students are here tonight with us. Amy Jiang, Michelle Fang, Kathleen Wong, Rhea Zhang, Angela Yu, Katie Ma, Ida Ma, Michelle Ho, Tanya Matthews, Heather Sayabong, Samantha Long, and Melody Gao. We also want to thank our assistant coaches, Janar Orbita and Samir Alidina. For our next award, we have our principal from Killian, Karen Magana, and also our teacher, Sarah Smith, if they can please come up. So tonight, we're also honoring 2 students from Killian. For the second year in a row, Killian School had 2 students enter their amusement park projects from Mrs. Smith's class, 5th grade class, into the LA County Fair competition. Emma Marcial, come on up, Emma. Won a second place driven for her amusement park entitled Dia de los Muertos, which was entered into the When the Death Comes Alive theme category. Ethan Lopez, coming up, Ethan. Won a first place ribbon for his amusement park titled Water Island, which was entered into the A Place to Have Splashing Fun theme category. Ethan's project was the only project in the 12 and under arts category to also win the sweepstakes ribbon, which is quite an honor. Please join us in congratulating Emma Martinez and Ethan Wilbur. Congratulations.
On behalf of the board, I would like to recognize and thank the STARS program students, parents, staff, and community members for providing the refreshments at tonight's board meeting. Coordinator of Special Education, Stacy Perez, Special Education Teacher, Olivia Perez, and student Raimundo Hernandez will provide a report highlighting the STARS program.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and audience members. My name is Stacy Perez, and I'm the coordinator of special education, and I oversee and administer the Specialized Transition Adult Resources and Skills, or STARS program. And tonight I'm accompanied by our lead teacher, Olivia Flores, and our spotlight student, Raimundo Hernandez. I invite Ms. Flores to come up and give you some information about our STARS program, and then she'll introduce Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you. Good evening. This is our STARS program, so I hope you enjoy. Many of you guys already know, but we're getting out there. We're getting a little bit more out there. So our STARS program is designed for students within the RUSD with moderate to severe disabilities. We range in ages from 18 to 21. And these students are going to receive a certificate of completion in high school. They don't receive a diploma. And then when they leave us, they're also going to get a certificate of completion as well. Participating students are eligible to receive special ed services from the district under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, until they reach the age of 22. The purpose of the STARS program is to support students in becoming active and functional members of society and allow them to reach their individual potential. The highlights of our STARS program, again, are to enhance vocational skills and career exploration, independent living skills, functional academics, community opportunities, recreational leisure skills, and adult service connections. So we're always out in the community, so if you see us, wave to us, because we're always taking a foothill transit and learning our community skills. And now, the star of tonight's show, I'd like to invite and welcome Raimundo Hernandez.
My name is Raimundo Hernandez. Oh. My name is Raimundo Hernandez. I am cool. I'm working at Marriott cleaning the staircases. I sort the lien details and sweep the floor in the kitchen. I also work at Bristol, wiping the chairs and clean the menu. I have been in trans program for 3 years. I am great at coupon for math, adding for math. I am good at talking to people. I have been learning to cook cornbread. In my program, I have been learning how to clean and doing things by myself. When I leave, I'm gonna work at Jack in the Box by my house.
And on behalf of the board, we want to say thank you. Armando, you did an excellent job, and we really appreciate you talking. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it immensely. Next is the superintendent's report by Dr. Mitchell.
I certainly cannot top that, but I'm going to try here in terms of sharing some information with the board regarding some upcoming events, making sure that everybody is in the know. So the community can shop at the Roland Unified Holiday Boutique. It's tomorrow, Friday, December the 13th. It's here at the district office from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Would also like to thank the many generous sponsors and support by many of our employees and community members where Roland Unified School District's families in need have the opportunity to experience our annual Adopt and Shop program that takes place this Saturday. This year there are 97 families and 275 children will be served through our Family Resource Center. A special thanks to our retired teachers and alumni, Ecolab, Eminent Healthcare, ARE, Kiwanis, Lions Club, Roland Water, and Union Pacific Railroad in the City of Industry as some of our sponsors for this event. Thanks also to the Walnut Valley Rotary Club, our Roland Unified employees, students from Nogales, Roland, and Santana High Schools, and community volunteers for the Roland Unified School District Holiday Basket Program will provide meals for 135 families in need across the district. All schools have been collecting canned and non-perishable food donations, and an amazing team of students and community volunteers are coming together this Saturday at Alvarado to assemble the baskets. And thank you again to all of the support our district departments and staff have provided to make this happen for our students and families. We're excited to share that Nogales Noble Regiment Band is getting ready to fly across the pond for a once-in-a-lifetime event to perform in the London New Year's Parade on January 1st. We've learned that it will be live streamed on the website for the London, New York Day Parade. And we've also learned that Los Angeles television stations KCET and KVCR will broadcast it live, which means at 4 o'clock in the morning our time. And so we will be setting our alarms so that we can see that. And then just around the corner, Roland Unified School District Showcase event will take place on January 25th, where all schools and district programs, including student entertainment, will be featured on Saturday, again, January 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Roland Heights Community Center. This event kicks off our enrollment for the 2020 priority enrollment for RUSD, which was January 27th through February 27th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will move to the student board representatives report. A representative from Santana High School is not available to provide a report this evening. Next, Brianna Lopez, Nogales High School Senior Class President, will provide a report.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, members of the board, and members of the audience. My name is Kaylin A. Anciano. I'm here today to represent Nogales High School. In the month of November going into December, our dance team, the Emeralds, and the dance class performed beautifully for their winter concert, Dancing the Night Away. We had our first basketball game where many people showed up expressing their spirit for our varsity basketball boys, varsity girls, and also JV teams. Our nobles are doing awesome job giving their best. While preparing for our winter break and the holidays, our ASB Junior Cabinet has been selling their holiday grams, which are being distributed on Monday. Our Noble Regiment will be having their winter concert tonight, where other schools will be able to have their students participate. They are prepping to leave for London, which is taking place in 3 more weeks. We are proud and excited to see our Nobles take this great experience. As our first semester comes to end, we will be taking our finals next week and hope we will all pass with flying colors. We will have our Holiday Spirit Week starting Monday with Ugly Sweater Day, followed by Winter Wonderland, Rocking Around the Tree, and Pajama Day. This includes the month's announcement. Tomorrow we will also be hosting the choir winter concert, which you are all invited to. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Yang, Roland High School ASB Speaker of the House, will provide a report.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, and members of the audience. My name is Lei Yang, and I'm the Speaker of the House for Roland High School. Although our school semester is coming to an end, Roland is still chugging along with activities. On November 14th through 15th, our drama department had their final showings of the fall play. On Saturday, November 16th, our Roland Raider Regiment hosted their second band show for the year. Our basketball team had their annual alumni game on November 18th. Our boys were able to win over the alumni. Roland was lucky to host the elementary robotics turkey trot on November 20th, which was cool for the high school students to help out and see what the younger generation is creating. November 21st, we hosted our second City of Hope blood drive run by our IB program. November 21st was also the Great American Smokeout, which students were provided with tons of information and facts about how dangerous smoking and vaping is to your body. From November 23rd to the 30th, there was a much-needed event for the students and teachers alike, Thanksgiving break. Everyone was given the week to relax and spend time with their family and friends, although us seniors spent time finishing our college applications. Returning from break, we will have 3 weeks full of activities. Last Friday, our Link crew hosted their annual gingerbread contest, with the 9th graders and the comedy sports had their holiday match. On Saturday, our choir hosted their annual Holiday Folly show in our hideout. These shows were great ways to get into the holiday spirit. We would like to thank the board members who attended this event. This week is our last week of 2019. Winter is our last spirit week of 2019, Winter Spirit Week. During this week, we had themes for each day, so students can show their school spirit through holiday gear. Monday was Snow Day Slumber Party, where everyone wore PJs to school. Tuesday was Ugly Holiday Sweaters. Wednesday was Baby It's Cold Outside, where everyone wore winter attire. Today, students wore their holiday headgear, which was Santa hats, reindeer, antlers, and tomorrow is Frozen Friday, where everyone can wear blue, white, and silver. On Tuesday, we had our first ever holiday carnival, where students came to the quad to participate in many holiday-themed games to win prizes. For example, some of the games included Ornaments in a Row, Jingle Jenga, Snowball Throwdown, Jingle Bell Toss, Name That Song, and we also had an ugly sweater contest that day. Friday, we will be having a holiday rally where our choir and cheer programs will be performing holiday entertainment, as well as special guests, which is our teachers, during the 12 days of what a student gave to teachers. Throughout the week, Johnny the Elf, like the elf on the shelf, was hidden around campus and students could find the elf to win prizes, which increased every day. Our third period homerooms are competing in the annual drawer decorating contest. We all look forward to the creativity of all the classes as they battle for homeroom points, as well as holiday treats. Several of our clubs are hosting craft/ornament workshops event tonight, where the art teacher, Mrs. Bates, is hosting a winter paint night where students and staff are able to relax, be creative, and have fun with friends. Holiday wintergrams went on sale starting from the return of Thanksgiving break and is lasting for 2 weeks. There are 4 different grams ranging in price. Some of the items in the grams included chocolate, candy, and Christmas socks. Students can buy any one they choose a gram, which will be delivered next Monday. Our choir is also selling holiday singing grams, where a bag of goodies and a holiday song will be delivered for next Monday. Then that leads us to the final week, next week, which is sadly finals week. Luckily, Monday will be a regular day before finals, Tuesday through Thursday. Monday will be especially fun for seniors because on that day we will have our senior winter wonderland. Seniors are able to come and take pictures with Santa and receive free cookies and milk. To help the stress of studying for finals, our library will be hosting 3 days of de-stressing activities. Monday is coloring and cookies, Tuesday is DIY face masks, and Wednesday is making cards or design. Service is an important part of Roland High School. In the month of November, we finished our Pennies for Patients / Michael Koifman Scholarship Penny Drive, where we are still counting all of those pennies. December brought on the district canned food drive hosted by the RHS Interact Club, where students were collecting cans. In an effort to reach out to our community, many students are volunteering this Saturday to build and create baskets with canned foods. Our club, ASB, and history classes, and the Wounded Warrior Club all came together and made holiday and thank you cards to the veterans and the first responders. Athletics at Roland is going strong. November was the conclusion of fall sports, where we had some outstanding seasons for a couple of sports. Our girls tennis team competed at CIF finals, girls volleyball competed at semifinals in the Southern CIF, as well as competed in CIF state. Winter sports have began with many preseason matches, games, and tournaments. Our wrestling program hosted first every Ralph Perez Girls Wrestling Tournament on November 22nd to 23rd. It was a huge success and a great promotion for our girls wrestling program. Boys and girls basketball are hosting basketball tournaments over the breaks. We're looking forward to attending all these league games that have start tomorrow and will be continuing throughout our break. I hope that all of you have a relaxing and wonderful holiday season. We look forward to the beginning of our second semester in January as Raiders continues to strive to be thinkers, communicators, and contributors.
Dr. Mitchell, are there any public comments this evening?
Yes, there are.
Please note the public is welcome to provide comment to the board. Remarks are limited to 3 minutes unless extended or limited by vote of the board. A maximum of 20 minutes unless extended by the board is allocated for each subject discussed. The Brown Act open meeting regulations under which the board must operate do not allow board members to comment on non-agenda items or information you may bring up that are not on the agenda. Additionally, no action can be taken. However, the board may give direction to staff following a comment. Board, we counted the cards, and so if we want to decide now, like if we want to accept them time or have enough time for them to speak, we have 2 speakers on different subjects. We have 7 speakers and if they, from Alvarado, and if they talk all 3 minutes, that will be 21 minutes. So can I have permission, or what do you feel like giving them 1 more minute? They might not all talk 3 minutes. Is that fine with the board? What do you think? 3 minutes each for Alvarado?
How much did we extend for ARA? Last month we extended 20 minutes, so I think we need to be equitable.
Okay, so it's okay for the board, everybody? Carrie? Okay, so, and Ross, we're gonna go over, okay, on the other one, so as long as it's over 20 minutes, it's fine. Less than 20 minutes for everyone to speak, because we have 11 speakers for CSEA, which would be 33 minutes on that topic. Is that fine? No, they're separate topics, that's why I need extension of time. You agree that it's okay for them to go, everybody? Is that okay with you too, Lynn?
I'm going to just cut it to 2 minutes each, but that's fine. The rest of the board wants to.
Angelina?
As long as we're equitable with what we gave ARA.
Okay, we're only gonna be going over 14 minutes then, yes, of the topic. Okay, fine. Yay. Thank you, Lord. Okay, first, Lori Humphreys.
Honorable Humphreys, first of all, thank you for all the good things you do. Now the day of reckoning is upon us, which provides us with the opportunity to purge the district of those who have clearly, jointly and severally illustrated that they have no respect for the law, as demonstrated by the actions and failure to act regarding the California Voting Rights Act. We need strong moral leadership to truly bring us up to a 21st century standard in all areas. We must embrace education as first and foremost, and regard transparency not as an obscenity, but the golden rule by which we live. Video recording of the district's meetings is a 21st century duty and obligation. Those who think otherwise need to find the next door that says exit. There is a note in history, 1964, where one black Mississippi resident, Cheney, and two Jewish young men from New York City, Goodman and Schwinner, joined to register African Americans to vote in that state. All three were murdered for their efforts. For you to talk of impeding the fulfillment of what they died for, and the petty, and I emphasize the petty cost, only further bear witness to the need for change, the sooner the better. The failure to hold at least two of these mandatory public hearings on the north side of the district is an act of disenfranchising that long neglected area. The scheduling of public meetings 5:30 p.m. on a weekday is an insult to all. And the turnout of 11/9, 11/10 reflect that. It will take painful years to fully realize the fruits of this long overdue cultural change. I must also bring you to the awareness of the California Penal Code 182A5, which notes that individuals may be found guilty and punishable for committing any act injurious to public health, to public morals, and or to pervert or obstruct justice or the due administration of the laws. And as Harry Peterson, retired Bond Oversight Committee Chairman, has noted in his parting speech, a grand jury may be offended. Thank you.
Mario Ego.
That's okay, so since we have 3 minutes per speaker, and so if you'd like to organize it, do so, we just do them in the order that is.
Oh, okay.
So we have our order, is that okay? Please tell me the order.
Okay, Jesus, Jasmine Castro, okay, Jeannie Roman, Mr. Danny, Mario. We'll be, I promise we'll be the same, right?
They don't have a card for Jasmine?
Jasmine. And Ryan Riaza, Ali Marios, and Claudia Hill. Yes.
And Claudia. And so I have Mario and Danny and
Danny Sport, Mario Sport, Jason Sport. That's my norm as a teacher. That's my norm, right?
You got it, and Jasmine is after you.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you.
So you're fifth.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Let me, I've read it once for the record.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
You guys are nice.
Jesus Gutierrez Jr., Claudia Villa.
Villegas, yeah.
All right, Jesus, you're going to go on and then I'll call the next person. Thank you.
Let me know when.
Good morning. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here for one simple reason, to say thank you. Shesha, gracias. My parents came from Central Mexico, and for a better opportunity, we landed in Roland Heights in 1980. And on December 7th, we just celebrated 39 years here. And it's beautiful to see for me growing up here since 4 years old going to Jellic, Alvarado and Roland. I love all three schools. The blue and gold runs through me. And when I was at Jellic, Alvarado, Roland, I went from Jesus to Jesse, and it was great. And now I come back as a professional, as an educator, and I'm Mr. G. It's beautiful to see. But simply put, we're here. I know you make a lot of choices, and they have consequences. And the choice you made to hire the administration you hired 3.5 years ago, Mr. Cabanillas, Ms. Villa, Ms. Delegine as well, has been beautiful. I mean, I'm a 17-year veteran as being an educator, and I just want you to know I've been in different districts, and I'm just so honored and proud to be back, and in so many ways. And simply put, as a resident of 39 years, and I just saw my minor league baseball coach, Toby, say hi. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a family here. And I just want to sincerely thank you all. The people that are going to follow me, classified and certificated, and above all, the students, are just going to give testimonials to their wonderful experience at Alvarado Intermediate. And honestly, thanks to your decision to hire Mr. Cabanillas above all. Thank you for that.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak to you all. I'm here tonight on behalf of Alvarado Intermediate and the amazing things that are happening under the leadership of Mr. Scott Cabanillas. As a new teacher, I was always told that my first couple of years of teaching would be the most difficult and the most stressful years of my life. I walked into Alvarado expecting just that, but I was just greeted and welcomed into a completely different atmosphere. At Alvarado, I am constantly surrounded by encouragement, positivity, opportunities, but most importantly, love and acceptance. For all, teachers, students, and every person that steps on campus. From the first day I met Mr. Cabanillas, I knew I was in a place filled with opportunities to learn, to grow, and to thrive. I couldn't ask for a better principal, mentor, and friend. Board members, I'm here to thank you. Thank you for trusting Alvarado to Mr. Cabanillas.
Good evening.
Wait, who are you?
Oh, I'm Daniel.
Danny? Okay, thank you, Danny.
Thanks. Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Mitchell, and audience. My name is Daniel Vicencio. I'm a paraeducator who, sorry, it's like I'm getting. My name is Daniel Vicencio. I'm a paraeducator who, it's because of some sorry. My name is Daniel Vicencio. I'm a paraeducator who provides the support and a team works with Mr. Gutierrez in his class and behavior intervention program, along with other two teachers to strengthen the word of self-esteem and other lessons that motivate our students to direct a positive direction. For example, to share the important topics of bullying, which is the more needed in our schools these days. Which is this program also instills and teaches the importance of education to go beyond and pursue college for a better future. Honestly, I wish this program existed when I was a kid, for I had to learn many skills on my own, and many times teachers didn't provide the support I needed. So it's something that is in my heart, and I think this program is awesome, and I think it's very needed because there will be future leaders. These are our leaders that are actually going to be our role, they're going to be teaching us, and they're going to be power leaders, maybe teachers, maybe directors, maybe superintendents. So I believe in this program. And also within these two months, we're going to have a big school project that will bring the community of students to collaborate to enhance the importance of healing and to strive for the future by bringing out other outside leaders that will influence our students to pursue success and be the next leaders as our student Mario, who will be speaking in a little bit. I'm very honored to be in this class within the past 4 months. In this program, I have seen students who have a positive outlook to their life and their education, never giving up, and even when the hard rain pours on you. This is a growth program where students build those skills needed to be true leaders for in Alvarado Intermediate School, and we have a word called honor that stands for honesty, ownership, never give up, open-hearted, and respect. Great qualities that our students practice every day and will continue to foster to the next generations. This program has significantly benefited students, where it has enriched former students to pursue college and graduate from UCLA and Cal States. Mr. Gutierrez is an extraordinary man. and Mr. C, our school principal, who have implemented this program at Alvarado Intermediate School. And I believe it should be modeled at other schools. Thank you for your time.
Jalen Roman.
Good evening. My name is Jalen Roman, and I'm here to speak to you about how amazingly Alvarado Intermediate School has a positive transform. As an alumni, volunteer, and former employee, I can confidently state that there has been significant positive changes. For example, there have been improvements in programs in sports and teaching, and above all, the community support that they provide to students. When Mr. Kevin Hughes became principal at Alvarado Intermediate School, he has a mindset like no other principal I have encountered. He has a gift of making students feel proud of where they come from and who they genuinely are as people. In addition, Mr. Kevin Hughes has also made an outstanding job in hiring colleagues that are willing to go the extra mile for their student success and knowing different ways in teaching students in class. Having been associated with Alvarado for the past 8 years, I can confidently state that Alvarado has never been better. Thank you for your time.
Mario.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mario Eager, and I'm here to represent and speak on behalf of the students that go to Alvarado Intermediate School. Thank you. Personally, I believe Alvarado is truly one of the greatest middle schools because we have classes where teachers treat the children like their own blood and family. The school gives positive attention to kids who lack. The school gives positive attention to most kids who lack it. Take Mr. G's class for example. Each and every day, a kid will walk. Take Mr. G's class for example. Each and every kid who walks into his home class were just random, disrespectful kids who just got in trouble. But he took those kids and raised them up with care, pride, love, and affection. Most of Mr. G's goals are just to watch the kids he takes care of and strive and build a future for them. And Mr. G not only is a great teacher, Mr. G is not only a great teacher, but he's a great man as well. He took these good-for-nothing kids and built them up with care and respect. He sees us not only as students, but as kids who have futures and can strive with their own potential and mindset. I know this because every day I walk into his classroom, I see something in his eyes. It's a glimmer of hope. He feels that each and every single one of us have futures, and we can change the world in a more positive manner. Thank you.
Ryan Riaga.
Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm a current 8th grader at Alvarado. Before I came to Alvarado, I didn't really care about school. I just thought that it was just some dumb thing that gave us unnecessary work. Then I came to Alvarado. This was an extreme life changer for me because of my teachers and principal of Alvarado. From Alvarado, I learned to trust, but sometimes we have to let go in order to grow, to appreciate my life and cherish my loved ones. I've struggled a lot in my life, from having my sister being diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and my parents being divorced. Alvarado has given me a sacred place where I feel like I belong there. Our principal gave us support and cheers us up with high fives when we are in our darkest places. Alvarado personally feels like if it were my own home and special place where no one puts anyone down or hates on anyone. That's what Alvarado is all about. Thank you.
I don't know how I'm going to talk about little speeches, but hello, my name is
Melody Perez, and I'm an 8th grade student at Alvarado. While being at Alvarado, I've learned to grow and develop into a better person. I've learned that my faults and mistakes don't define who I am and who I want to be in the future. I've learned to trust others and allow my voice to be heard, to show kindness and encourage others who are struggling. Growing up, I've had my own struggles. At a young age, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. These issues controlled every aspect of my life. They affected the way I socialized and my education. However, it really affected the way I saw myself. I remember telling myself that I was nothing and always asking why I was even alive. These negative thoughts went so far to the point where I thought I was better off dead. That was until I got to meet amazing teachers and students at Alvarado, as well as get support from my family. I started to believe in myself again, and I was able to find happiness in a world that wasn't always so nice. Teachers and students showed me love, compassion, and what it feels like to be a part of a wonderful family. Teachers inspire students to be a greater version of themselves every day. They take the time to create lesson plans and new materials about global issues, so we can find ways to contribute to our world, find solutions to these global issues, and teach others in the process. My father once told me that with patience comes beautiful things. This is what our teachers do. They take the time to teach lessons and get to know the students, to create beautiful bonds. Teachers assign students projects that allow them to think creatively and on their own, which makes the project more meaningful because it comes from a student and not a book. I'm happy to say I'm a matador. I love my school because they give me the freedom to be who I want to be. They give me the support so that now I'm doing better in school. Now I'm proud to say I have a 4.0 GPA. Alvarado Intermediate School is my second home, a place where I feel like I belong and where you can see the support and love you have for one another. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to try really hard not to cry after hearing my students. I'm like, whew. Good evening, Dr. Mitchell, school board and audience. My name is Claudia Villegas, and I'm a teacher at Alvarado Intermediate School. I have been with the Roland School District 17 years. The last few years have changed the way I view education, my students, and the role as an educator. Our school population has seen many changes. Our classes are a bit smaller. Our students come to school with such complex lives, and my role inside and outside the class needed to change to reflect the needs of my students. There was a notable difference in our population 4 years ago when we had 66% of our incoming 7th graders who were 2 or more levels below in reading. History teachers and English teachers worked together to motivate our students to be interested in reading and learning and caring about the state exam. 3 years ago, there was even a stronger need when there was a need for a support class for our incoming 7th graders with both behavioral and academic concerns. I volunteered not really knowing what I was getting into. It required me, I'll go back, the task was going to require me to look at them both at their mental needs, their emotional needs, and physical needs. With the help of a special education teacher and the support of Mr. Cavaneas, I was able to work with my students to help them work on the skills needed to be successful in life. The road was very difficult, but the relationships gained outweighed the struggle. There were many days when I would go home crying, wondering, how do these students function at school with such heavy burdens that they carry? Teachers began to change the lens that they began to view their students with. When Mr. Cavaneas introduced the concept of Alvarado becoming the world's greatest school, teachers began to work hard at breaking outdated views. I realized that my students today do not need a stern teacher that they must respect. Today, my students need a teacher who is open to learning about them on a personal level. The relationship I have today reminds me of why I became an educator. I became an educator to help the students who were like me. The students who struggled, the students who had no voice, who viewed themselves in a negative way. The view lens that I have is because of Mr. Cavaneas. The need for me to break my rigid mindset was necessary, not just for my students, but for myself. I will end by saying that I am blessed to work at the world's greatest middle school. Why? Because I'm part of a family at the world's greatest middle school with the world's greatest students.
Oh, yeah, the new topic. Andrea Laguna.
I've spent over 10 unified as an instructional assistant. My son has been a student of the district from kindergarten. This past summer, as he was preparing to begin junior high, my son was hospitalized after suffering a seizure and subsequently diagnosed with epilepsy. His condition requires that an emergency medication, a rectal injection gel, be kept available at all times and administered in case he were to experience a seizure lasting more than 5 minutes. His school, of course, has this medication on site along with necessary documentation. The fact that there is not a full-time health staff on site, and the fact that it is typically only health staff who are trained on how to administer this type of medication is a major concern for obvious reasons. I just wish to touch briefly on how detrimental it often is to my, how detrimental it often is to my special education students who rely and thrive on regularity, to be subjected to a constant revolving door of staff. The practice of continually hiring new staff who are not properly trained, rather than utilize the existing 3-hour staff who are well-versed in how best to work with our students, seems rather against the idea that our students are the priority. Thank you.
Lita Hernandez.
Hello, my name is Lita Hernandez. I've been a district employee since 2006, and I am the proud new office manager for Jellic Elementary School. I'm asking the board and the district to offer increased hours for health assistants, instructional assistants, and personal care assistants. In the short time I have been blessed to share Jellic with so many amazing, passionate, and talented staff, I have also been given the opportunity to see the needs our site has. Jellic is a special school. We serve 4 severely disabled classes on site and do our very best to facilitate the growth and learning in each and every one of the students that walk through our door. This is not without its challenges. We have one 3-hour health assistant. She tends to the needs of students who walk through the door, ensures their medications and paperwork is up to date, contacts parents, and so much more. After running around and tending to all of these needs, she is expected to input a stack of health sheets into Aries each day. I can confidently say that that stack is ever growing. When she leaves our site, after her 3 hours is completed, our office staff and myself are left to tend for our students' health needs. We are told our students and their families are supposed to come first. Allowing for increased hours for health assistants shows our community, our families, our students, and our staff that we are here to care for all of their needs. There are more instructional assistants and personal care assistants on our site than there are teachers. Our classrooms cannot function without these amazing employees. Employees that are so dedicated to their craft that they are willing to do 2 to 3 jobs to ensure that they can pay the bills and still come to work every day. These are employees who are bit, spit at, clawed, change diapers, and yet show compassion and understanding for students who oftentimes cannot speak for themselves. Of these staff, I have multiple on my site who are working additional hours. As long as special ed completes the requisition for this additional time, these employees work 6-hour days without health benefits. Sometimes the hours they have accepted last all year. For a lot of these students, routine is the path to excel and grow. How can we expect growth from students who are seeing 2 or 3 different aides in a day? The need for increased hours is there. The time for talk has run its course. We need action to ensure our students and their families are getting the support they need. Please offer increased hours.
Alma Alvarez.
Hi, my name is Alma Alvarez, and I've been with the district since 2000. I am a 3 health assistant for Jellic and a concerned parent. I strongly believe that 3 hours is not enough for the need of our students. I truly feel you don't understand a position and which entitled. We have students with medications, severe allergies, reaction, asthma, diabetes, and seizures, in which each of them compromise the lives of our students. We simply don't know when an emergency is going to happen. Taking care of our students should be first. But we also do clerical work that demands day by day in the home office. All that cannot be done in 3 hours, nor should I have the stress in my life. At the top of that, only day I have to catch up are the days that are student-free days. And now you want to take away that from us. At the beginning of the school year, Dr. Mitchell said, we need to make changes. I agree. It's time. The changes should be done now. I'm asking the board and the district to increase hours for the health of students. Thank you.
Francine Marie Morales.
Good evening, my name is Francine Morales. I'm an instructional assistant too at Jalek Elementary. I've been an instructional assistant for 7 years since 2013. Working at Jalek has shown me a lot on how an inclusion classroom should look. For the Perez. For those who don't know the role of a paraeducator, we play many roles, such as some of us may be aides for special education, special ed aides for students with disabilities, or a general aid for teachers within the school. Some of us work 3, 5.5 hours, or 6 hours. We assume a variety of responsibilities: record keeping, supervising, monitoring, seat work, and classroom behavior, reading, totaling, and instruction. Imagine getting all this done within your assigned hours, knowing that your student's behavior may change on a rainy day, a minimum day, or earthquake drill. And we must remain calm. And when things don't go as planned, we adapt, and we do coping exercises. And sometimes we do coping exercises with our students. But in reality, it's us who's doing it. It's important that ARE and the district remember that paraprofessionals are viewed as a part of the team as well. We should be able to participate in IEP teams. And this is my first time at Jalek Elementary where I was actually invited to an IEP meeting. Our input on jobs and our job duties need to be treated with respect and dignity.
Yes.
However, that may not be the case. In my first 4 years as an instructional assistant at Nogales High School, I was called a crush in front of the whole entire classroom. When I was supporting my resource students, the teacher must have forgotten about zone of proximal development, a whole child, and maybe that there are other methods at checking for understanding. We are the Perez. We are not crutches. We are human beings, parents, members of the community, and alumni. We want to give back to our community, and our goal as educators is for our students to become independent, successful, and reach their academic goals, social, behavior, and social skills. Sometimes we're taken for granted. Even no matter how much training or how far we went within our degrees, the district is still does not appreciate us. Collaboration. Throughout the district, we are supposed to be practicing collaboration. That's one of our philosophies, isn't it? Between teachers, parents, paras, and students, but one classification needs recognition. And I'll get back to them in a minute. I'd like to thank the team for understanding that it's important for us to work together with our teachers. And I'd like to thank the board for actually listening to us. Now going back to the classification that I mentioned. The nurse assistants do an amazing job. I never understood how much work they have to do underneath so much time. Oh, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brianna Kohler, and I'm a 5.5-hour instructional aide at Giano Intermediate.
I work in a classroom for students with moderate to severe special needs with a focus on life skill building. I'm here to propose a solution to a current problem in our district. On October 10th, Dr. Shincup shared the most recent local education agency reports with you. Our district is underperforming according to California state expectations in providing students with special needs more inclusion time. I've highlighted this item on the reports I handed to you. It's labeled item 5B. Attached to this report are 5 surrounding school districts that are performing better than us in this category. These surrounding districts have increased their instructional assistants' permanent working hours to 6 hours per day. This correlation cannot be ignored. Having 6-hour paraprofessionals is necessary in efforts to provide an outstanding education to our students, and here is why. Several Montsevier classrooms in our district make inclusion efforts throughout the day to bridge their school sites and community with their students. We have an amazing community-based instruction program in which we teach our students how to ride a public bus, to make purchases and manage with their own money, to interact safely in our community. This program equips our students with the knowledge and skill that will make their quality of life and independence improve tremendously. When our aides only work 3 hours, they have to leave in the middle of our community-based instruction when they are off the clock. Having 6-hour positions would give special needs classrooms the proper support to provide our students with consistent learning and inclusion opportunities. Aside from the community-based instruction, 3 and 5.5-hour positions leave many of our classrooms downstaffed for at least 1 hour each day. That is an hour less of a trained and experienced staff member providing support in a classroom. That is an hour of missed learning opportunities and potential inclusion time for our students that is not being utilized each day at school. 6-hour positions will benefit our students' learning outcomes and improve the lives of our non-graduating students with special needs. I strongly propose that the creation of 6-hour positions for paraprofessionals will increase the district's performance data. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, my name is Patty. I wear many hats in the school district, but tonight I am wearing my favorite as a parent of a student at Killian Elementary. I just found out that Killian does not have a full-time health assistant or nurse on site during the school day. I worry about this because I feel if there was an emergency, my child will not get the proper care he needs. I understand that secretaries' office assistants take on the task of a nurse or a health assistant. These secretaries' office assistants work hard already and should not have to take on any extra tasks. I would feel better knowing that when my son goes to the nurse's office, that he is attended by someone who knows and is trained on what to look for if my child is in a health crisis. I am asking you as a concerned parent to staff the nurse's office with a health assistant or nurse during the entire time my child is in school. Thank you.
Karen Rodriguez. Good evening, Dr. Mitchell and distinguished board members. My name is Karen Rodriguez, and I am an 8-hour assistant, and I work for the SHSEC program, which is formerly the Emotionally Disturbed Behavior Disorder Program. When I first started in the district in 1998, my goal was just to get my foot in the door so that I can go to school, become a gen ed teacher. Back then, it was perfect. I can raise my 3-month-old, go to school, earn some money, and support my family. Fast forward 21 years into the future, and now this job has become my passion. Back in the day, the job was meant for people who were still going to school and try to earn a little extra cash on the side. Now here we are in 2019, and it's no longer a side job. Instead, it's become a career choice. There are people who have stayed here for 10 years or more, and it's not because of the money, and it's definitely not because of the hours. It's because of the love that we have for the students. Some can say that we are seen as the second set of parents for our students. We create bonds with them. We have great rapport with them. We raise them as if they were our own. With this being said, I feel that the district is being really unfair to its classified staff in regards to furlough days, forcing us to use our vacation time or non-paid day on these days, while the teachers have the chance to earn a workshop hour pay for their trainings is not okay.
Then you try to remedy the situation by giving us trainings on these days, but then you only pay our 3-hour assistants 6 hours for a 12 to 16-hour training. It is not only offensive, but it's insulting to all of us who need that training. The training that I'm speaking of is the CPI, the Crisis Prevention Intervention Training. This is an extremely crucial to our programs, and it is the only program in the district. It is the only program that the district provides consistently. If the district has enough money to pay their teachers for their trainings, then they should have enough money to pay their classified for that training that equips us with the confidence that we need to be able to de-escalate difficult behaviors in our schools. Because there are so many teachers and assistants who take this training annually, and because it's lengthy time it takes up to 2 full days to get certified, it cannot be taken once. It has to be spread out throughout the school year. That's why it makes sense to provide them during the professional development days, but we should be getting paid in full for them. Yes. In closing, let me remind you who we are. We are the reason these kids or these students are progressing. We are the reason special ed teachers are able to maintain their classroom. We are the heroes of this district, and we deserve better than just a pat on the back. That's right. Thank you.
Go, Reggie.
Okay, board members, nice to see you guys. Nice to see you here. Our lovely administrators and all those beautiful people from CSCA Centennial. I'm not going to beat up on you guys today. I'm not going to talk about Perez. I'm not going to talk about giving them 6 hours right now. What I want to talk about is our reserve. And I want to know from you guys, when is enough is enough? How much reserve is needed? Every year, you guys, our reserve increases and increases. But yet, our members continue to struggle every single day. What I want to know from you guys, when is enough? What is your goal? What's enough? 27, 25, 30, 40? What is enough in percentage-wise for you guys to say, let's start looking toward our workers and enriching their lives?
Woo!
When I look around Roland, and everyone's been talking about Walnut and how they're starting to get more members of our members going there, moving. Why are they going there? Because they're getting a better quality of life. Our members are here, they're working every day, and I can distinctly remember a day when we came back and some of our administrators went so far as to say how proud they were of what we've done. How when the schools were being refurbished, how they came out and they worked hard. They came in and filled in the last minute. They made things happen so our schools can open on time. And the words were beautiful. It sounded great. I was proud to hear what he had to say, and all our members were very happy. But those are great words, but they're only words.
That's right.
What's going to be done to enrich our lives?
Action.
To enrich our members? What's going to be done so that our members, the ones who work in this district every single day, will come here, and because they work here, they have to work 2 or 3 other jobs so that their kids can be involved. With their homework. They can't be home with their children to come to an event and watch them play basketball. Why? Because they can't afford to. Some of them can't even afford to be here. Why?
They're getting a second job or a third job.
Exactly. So why can't we provide for our members? These guys are not here. I'm not here just for a little while. I'm not here for a year. I'm not here for a month. I'm here to make this a career. I'm here to be all in. We just ask that you are all in with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm Grace Morales. I've been in the district for 17 years. Campus 8 is that Campus Aid works in potential hazardous condition and situations. I feel that Campus Aids could benefit greatly from active shooters training. We're all wearing bright yellow shirts, therefore we're a target. We need to know how to respond efficiently in life-threatening situations to protect our students and ourselves. Students arrive at as early as 6 o'clock in the morning, but our Campus Aid and safety are not in campus till 7:30. Between 6 and 7:30 admins on campus. Who's supervising our children during that time? In recent weeks, there has been an incident with guns in La Habra, San Dimas, and West Covina, very close to home. The tragedy in Saugus High School happened at 7:30 a.m. It only took 16 seconds for the tragedy to occur. At 7:30 in the morning, the same time when Roland Campus aides and safety personnel just arrived, starting to arrive on time. The sheriff, if available, arrives at 8:30. Additional campus aides need to be allowed to work more hours to provide proper supervision on campus. Also, the district holds a half an hour from our working day, which make us ineligible to receive medical benefits.
Yeah.
Campus aides are undervalued and undercompensated. How much do you put on school safety? In the district, there are 365 full-time classified and a total of 865 classified employees. And a total of less than half classified staff are full-time employed. Why can't the district make campus aid full-time employees? In closing, I'd like to say, let's make campus safety and campus safety personnel a higher priority. Thank you, board, for hearing me out.
Marco Maldonado.
Good evening, Board President Friedman, members of the board, and district administration. I had a speech lined up for you tonight, another one, I should say, but I am going to cut this short in order to make sure that you hear from my members. What haven't they said that I can say that they have said things more eloquently that I can say to you right now. I look forward to having very substantive conversations with all of you. They've touched upon some of the issues that I have spoken to you before, with giving you negotiations updates, increased hours for our paras, increased hours for our health assistants. These are all experiences that I cannot attest to since I am not in one of those classifications. I can just tell you that, like many of my members here today, I wear many different hats. I'm a former student coming from this district. I love working for this district. That does not mean that there aren't things that we can work to improve upon. And I look forward to having many constructive conversations with all of you on how we can make this a better district for not just our certificated members, but our classified members as well. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education Superintendent and Administrators. My name is Astrid Campos, and I'm the labor rep for the Roland classified employees. I've been at representing this district for almost 5 years, and I've never come and spoken to you guys because I've never felt that I needed to. We have always been able to reach settlement. This time, it's different. We've been at the negotiations table for a year. We've met 15 times, and we still can't reach agreement. When CSA came to the table in 2019 for the 1920 school year, we were hopeful that we could work collaboratively in a collaborative manner to reach agreement. 3 years ago, when the district spoke to our former president, Sharon Carrillo, and myself about trying interest-based bargaining, we agreed. We had felt that we had done the internal trust building to try this collaborative approach. All this trust and collaboration, I don't feel is there anymore. 1 year later, CSCA has 4 interests at the table. Our current health cap is $11,000. Our single party employee, so an employee only, has just enough to have health care. The ones who get health care, because as you heard, half of our bargaining unit doesn't have health care. Our two parties are paying roughly about $300 to $600 a month. Our families are paying about, some over, $1,000 a month. Do you think this is right? Our second interest was to raise the hours for instructional assistants and our health care assistants. Our instructional assistants work on average 3.75. You've heard them tonight, but they work all these extra hours. Your district was notorious for having a 19-day rotation. Why 19 days? Because there's a PERD decision that at 20 days, those hours would become permanent. So for years, we've lived with this 19 days. When we brought up this issue to the district this year, you know how they handled it? They did temporary assignments of those hours. Great, fix the problem short term. But why not make those permanent assignments? Why not merge decisions? Because they can be done. If we care about the student, then we should have consistency in the classroom. And one that replaces. Yes. That is how we lose students. I'm not students, but we lose employees to other districts that actually provide 6 to 7 hour instructional assistant positions. That comes with health care. Some of us believe health care is a right. CSCA has been asking the district to increase this. That. Third point. Support this year. Well, thank you for listening.
Good evening, my name is William Harrison. I didn't plan to speak tonight because I felt that it wasn't proper. But after seeing what Rondo, what's his name? Marco, right, I said, wow, that says a lot for the district itself. It says a lot for what these teachers do and what the clerical do. I think he could be our poster boy for the most part. It took a lot for him to come here and say what he said. It says, it gives me, tells us the fine job that you guys are doing in the classroom. And we know the classroom will not function without our secretaries. I'm shocked. I'm actually embarrassed, and I need to say shame on the district when you only give 19 days to relocate. They did that in other districts to keep them, make them permanent. Healthcare, it has to be a right. It can't be. I mean, we can't turn and say, well, we'll give you some healthcare when we want to. Again, I had no pretensions on speaking. I had the opportunity to speak with a lot of administrators this week. Dr. Zamora, Dr. Huff, Dr. Despart. Don't forget, Armando came out of Oswald under Dr. Despart's tutorage, so it's close to me. But I feel that the district will go forward once we resolve these problems in terms of teacher, clerical, and district. We need to come together in the best, and do what's in the best interest of the kids. We always say the kids come first. Well, let's move the envelope, give the clerical what they need, give teachers pretty much what they need, and the district can put the stuff behind them and move the schools forward. We can no longer have our kids working at not making the grade per se. I'm hoping that we can move forward and raise the scores and make this school district what it can truly be. Like I said, I worked with people over the weekend, over this week, and we had a real chopping experience. And I would say that the staff here feels that they're going to do what's in the best interest of our kids and our clerical and the teachers. So all I'm saying is I'm hoping that we can all pull together and move forward and make things happen. But again, it's going to take some serious bargaining and give and take. I think the district needs to do a little more giving. And I believe that the district will do it because the district wants to do what's in the best interest of our kids. Okay? And our staff. Without you, we don't work it. We don't make it. Don't forget, any good principal knows who runs the school.
We do.
The secretary.
We do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Education of the Roland Unified School District, in accordance with Elections Code Section 10010, will receive and consider public input regarding the composition of proposed trustees.
I would like to have Mr. Larry Bershoff please come to the podium. He has a presentation that we'll share with our community so that we can all have the information, and then we will open it up for public comment for our public hearing. Mr. Bershoff.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, members of the board. A brief presentation to go over the maps and statistics on those. We'll start with the slide on the timeline. Sure. Yeah, to lean in a little bit more. So in terms of the timeline, this is a recap of where we've been and where we're going in terms of the board meeting that we've had and the public hearing. So we had our first pre-map public hearing back on October 10th, our second pre-map public hearing on October 24th, and then on November 14th, the maps were the subject of the first public hearing on the map scenarios themselves. Tonight we're having a public hearing on the maps, and then on January 23rd would be an additional public hearing on the maps, and at that point the board could then select which map it would like to move forward with, and then we have various next steps for the approval process from the County Committee on School District Organization as well as from the State Board of Education. Those processes will continue. The next slide we have, in addition to the various board meetings that we have held for public hearings, for formal public hearings on the maps and the pre-map stages, we've also, the district has also held it looks to be 8 meetings across the district with various constituent groups, both before the maps were created as well as since the maps have been created, to give folks a chance in a less formal setting to review the information, provide feedback, ask questions. All that information has been available at those meetings, and so just giving folks a different chance to participate besides at board meetings. So in this process of drawing trustee areas, these are the board's, there were board adopted criteria, including keeping the areas roughly equal, complying with the Federal Voting Rights Act, communities of interest, compact and contiguous, those things that were all adopted by the board. Slide 4 then looks at the total population of the district. As the 2010 census, 108,000 total population, which translates into 5 areas of about 21,700 people each. So when you look at these scenarios, we're aiming for 21,700. We're allowed a variance of up to 10% between the largest and smallest areas. And we'll talk about the variances of each of these maps as we walk through the presentation. The map on the left-hand side of this slide just indicates the various jurisdictions that are served by the school district. The following slide is looking at citizen voting age population. So in addition to looking at the total population, we're also looking at folks who are 18 and over and are citizens. And this is the most recent estimate of that population based on a 2013 through 2017 sampling. You can see in the table there that 37.68% Latino or Hispanic, 46% Asian. Those are the 2 largest groups. There's also members of protected classes under the Federal Voting Rights Act. The map on the right-hand side looks at areas of concentration of the Latino citizen voting age population. So you can see the darker the red color, the higher the concentration of the Latino citizen voting age population, mostly in the La Puente and South San Jose Hills communities, where the highest concentrations are. And then the map here looks at areas of the highest concentration of the Asian citizen voting age population. The darker blue colors are indicative there of higher concentration. So in the Walnut and Rolling Heights communities, where we generally see higher concentrations of that citizen voting age population. So there are 7 different maps that we're going to look at, 5 of which you saw at the prior board meeting at the first public hearing on the map. So this again is scenario 1. In all of the maps, area 1 is yellow, 2 is green, 3 is red, 4 is blue, and 5 is purple. So you can see area 1 is in the Walnut and West Covina, northern parts of West Covina portion of the district. Area 2 then in the West Covina, coming over to the northern part of South San Jose Hills and La Puente. Area 3, the remainder of South San Jose Hills coming down into Industry and then into Roland. Area 4 then on both sides of the 60 in the Industry part as well as Roland Heights. And then Area 5 being the southernmost part of the district extending to the border there. You can see on the right-hand legend, there's indications of which areas would be up for election in which years. It's a little tough to read on the map there, but areas 2 and 5 would be up for election in 2020, and areas 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be up for election in 2022. Get up to reading lessons for that one. In terms of population variance, this scenario has a total population variance of 2.8%, so well within the legal limits of the 10%. We wouldn't share with you a scenario for your consideration that was outside that. We also have information on citizen voting age population in each of these areas. So in scenario 1, we have 2 areas, areas 2 and 3, where the Latino citizen voting age population represents a majority at 53 and 67% respectively. And then areas 1, 4, and 5, where the Asian citizen voting age population represents a majority at 52, and 61% respectively. So in this scenario, we're increasing the influence of both protected classes by providing 2 majority areas in the case of the Latino population and 3 majority areas in the case of the Asian population, commensurate with kind of the population distribution that you see in the district. Scenario 2 then, similar in that area 1 starts in Walnut and crosses over into West Covina. Area 2, again in West Covina, South San Jose Hills into La Puente. You'll see area 3 is a little bit shifted over to the east and goes farther to the south in this particular map. So that's a little bit of a difference from scenario 1. Area 4 again straddling both sides of the 60, coming up a little bit farther to the north into the West Covina portion of the district. And then area 5 being in the southern part. In scenario 1, you'll remember area 5 goes the entirety of east to west in the southern part. In this scenario, it only goes as far west as Fullerton Road. So that's one of the differences of this scenario's divisions of the southern portion of the district. You can see again in the legend there that areas 2 and 5 again are up for election in 2020, and 1, 3, and 4 would be up for election in 2022. Not to mention all the school sites are obviously identified on here, so you can see where those are in relationship to the various trustee areas. This has a total population variance of 6.5%. It's a little bit higher than scenario 1, but still within the 10% variance that we're allowed. In terms of populations, we see 2 areas, areas 2 and 3 again, at 56 and 54% Latino, so 2 majority Latino areas. Areas 1, 4, and 5 at 51, 50, and 60% Asian citizen voting age populations, so 3 majority areas there for the Asian citizen voting age population. Just like we saw in scenario 1, just a little shifting of some of those numbers here and there, but still the same majority areas that are able to be created to be in the spirit of the federal voting and California Voting Rights Act. Scenario 3, which you see here, is area 1 is basically the same shape as it was in scenario 2. Area 2 shifts over to the west. Area 3 shifts further to the north, coming into that La Puente, South San Jose Hills area. Really doesn't come much farther, it doesn't come as far down as it did in the previous scenario. It doesn't go much below Colima, except in that one neighborhood you see right below the word Colima, so that's as far south as that one goes. Area 4 shifts over to the west, staying north of Pathfinder and coming just past Nogales. And then Area 5, instead of being entirely south of the 60, does come up north of the 60 into the West Covina area, but does stay on the south side of Pathfinder. So that doesn't go as far west as it did in scenario 1, as you will recall that east-west alignment there. In terms of the elections, my 3 buses again, it is areas 2 and 4 would be up for election in 2020, and areas 1, 3, and 5 would be up for election in 2022. This one has a total population variance of 5.44%, so pretty similar to scenario 2. In terms of the demographics, again, we have 2 majority Latino areas, areas 2 and 3. We see that number at 61.77% is the highest one we've seen thus far for a Latino citizen voting age population number. So that's a little bit different. I'm sorry, it's the second highest. It was 67.35 in scenario 1, so 61.77 in scenario 2 in area 3. And then we could see again the same 3 Asian majority areas on citizen voting age population in areas 1, 4, and 5. So similarities in the demographics of scenarios 1, 2, and 3 in terms of 2 majority Latino, 3 majority Asian citizen voting age population areas. Scenario 4 was a map that was created and provided by the party that presented the demand letter to the school district for this process. And so this was included within the demand letter, and we created this map in our system so we could look at it. We did make, we mentioned, a small change in order to bring the population variance within the 10%. It wasn't originally within the 10% under the 2010 census, so we did have to make a small change to move a little bit of population. But you can see area 1 in this particular scenario is in the southern part. We just aligned this one a little bit differently. So area 1 is in the southern part, and area 2 is in the west southern part. Area 3 in the industry, South San Jose Hills, the Puente area. Area 4, the rest of South San Jose Hills going up to West Covina area. And then area 5 on the eastern boundary of the district going from Walnut down to West Covina and crossing the 60 freeway there. You can see in this particular map, the election cycle would be areas 3 and 4 would be up for election in 2020, and 1, 2, and 5 in 2022. In terms of the variance, it works out to be 7.5%. In terms of the distribution of various ethnicities, in this particular map, we have area 3 as the only Latino majority area at 82.17%. So a much higher percentage, but really concentrated in one area. The next highest area would be area 4 at 44.68%, representing a plurality, but not a majority. So the other scenarios, we're able to create those 2 majority areas. This one creates just 1 majority and 1 plurality area. And then you have the same 3 Asian majority areas in 1, 2, and 5. So, you know, a little bit of concern potentially about how much of a packing of the Latino population is occurring in area 3, where we have the ability to create 2 majority areas. The Federal Voting Rights Act is generally supportive of us doing that, as opposed to creating just 1 super majority area. Next one is scenario 5. This one again, back to the 1, 2, and 3, at least the geography of starting at the north and working our way to the south in terms of the numbering. So 1, the northeast part of the district. Area 2 shifts over to the eastern side, I'm sorry. For the most part, north of the 60, capturing a little bit of population south of the 60. Area 3 along the western side, 4 coming around to the northern parts of Roland and into the industry, and 5 primarily in Roland. This one has a population variance of 9.03%, so this one is just under the legal threshold there, and the areas 4 and 5 that are scheduled for election in 2020. This one does, like scenarios 1, 2, and 3, create 2 majority Latino citizen voting age population areas in areas 2 and 3, and 3 majority Asian citizen voting age populations in areas 1, 4, and 5. So it's in line with what we've been able to do in the first 3 scenarios that we presented. So these were all the maps that were also shared at the first public hearing last month on the maps, and have been available on the website. After that public hearing, we received a map from a community member. The map on the left is the map as it was submitted. The map on the right is a close approximation that we could make of it. as you'll see, there are census blocks that kind of right to left that we aren't able to split census blocks. So census blocks are, I like to describe them as the Lego blocks that we have to use to build the various shapes that we're dealing with. We can't split the Lego blocks because that tells us how many people are in a particular area. And so if we had to kind of recreate this map in a way that didn't split the Lego blocks, or census blocks, if you will. So that's why it's not exactly in line with the map that was submitted, but it was as close as we could to try to see what it would look like on a population information. And so as it was created, you'll see it has a population variance because the largest area is area 3, and it's 16% above our ideal total, and the smallest area would have been area 5, and that's 27% below our perfect total. So it has a population variance of 43.14%. So that wouldn't be a map that we would be able to consider for adoption in its current form. So I just wanted to give you that information on that map because it was submitted for consideration. And then finally, we've made some adjustment to scenario 5, recognizing it had the highest population variance of just over 9%. We made an alternative version, which became scenario 7, that brings that population variance down to 4.77%, so cut it in half almost. It really just has some small changes between areas 1, 3, and 2, 1, 2, and 3. Let's say numerical order. Just kind of some shifting around of population to better balance the populations and get our variance below the 5% mark. Otherwise, demographically, it achieved the same results of 2 majority Latino areas and 3 majority Asian areas on citizen voting age population. It does create area 3. Look back, that's the red area where the Latino citizen voting age population is at 72%, but we do still maintain that second majority area in area 2 at 51.9%. So 72% is the highest one that we have, where we still maintain 2 majority Latino areas. And then, so that's one thing to point out about this scenario is that first, or the highest area is the highest where we still maintain 2 majority Latino areas because we have a second area at just under 52%. And then we do have our 3 Asian majority citizen voting age population areas at 55% or greater in terms of the majorities there. So with that, would you like to ask any questions or would you like to go right up to public comment?
I also just wanted to note that there are signs that were out front, and we do have translation available in Spanish, Korean, and Chinese. Any questions, David? Okay. The public hearing is for all interested parties to provide comments only on the trustee area boundaries. Public hearing opened at 7:42 p.m. So if anybody would like to come forward from the public, you may come and speak.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Perez. Just wanted to make a few comments about the presentation. It was pretty dry. What a presentation needs to do on the maps is explain to you how the different variations were created so that you can decide which one you like. There was a discussion of the data, but the one thing that I want to point out in this whole process is in the city of Whittier, for instance, when they were sued, and when the Whittier Union High School District went through this process, they did something that I thought was very effective, and this is primarily what I wanted to bring to your attention. When a member of the community submits a map, the role of the demographer is not simply to identify for you and set out the data and say it's not subject to consideration. What they sponsored was a series of community meetings where people could actually walk in and sit with the demographer and at least express to them what vision they had, and the demographer would help them come up with a map that fit the parameters. And as far as I know, with Mr. Humphreys' map, that was not done. You should know that drawing a map is not an easy thing to do. I can't do it. Probably most people in the room couldn't do it because the software that's necessary and the experience that's necessary to draw a map is beyond reach of most of us. So I did hear a lot of good comments from individuals when the City of Whittier case was going on, because people would go in and they have a vision of what they wanted a map to be, and the demographer was actually able to work with them to produce something that was reflective of what they wanted. And I think that was good for the community. What's happened here is Mr. Humphreys' map has been presented and it's simply been rejected because it violates the parameters. I think that the district should ask the demographer to meet with him. And I've requested that from opposing counsel, and I don't know what the board's position is on that, but I think it's necessary to do in order to have a more satisfying process. The other thing very quickly is you saw Mr. Humphreys' original map. You did not see the map that I sent. As a matter of fact, the map that I sent to the school board was never produced. What the demographer acknowledged in his presentation was that he tweaked it and he changed it. And what now has been stated to you twice is that the map that I presented only had one majority Latino district. In fact, that's not true. The statistics that I have show that the map had 2 Latino districts, and I have yet to know how it was changed. So you saw Mr. Humphreys' original map, what the demographer presented. My map has never been presented to you. And so that's an aside. That's not as important as what the community ultimately comes around to. But I think in the case of Mr. Humphreys and other people in the community, you should at least create one session where people can talk to the demographer and learn how to draw these lines and perhaps present to you something that's more useful than what the demographer has done. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Roy Humphreys here, and subject to the map that the gentleman showed up there. And one thing, I do not pretend in any way, shape, or form to have anything that even approaches his skills. As a matter of fact, when I submitted this to Dr. Mitchell, that I stated, please have the demographer adjust the lines that I put in there, because somewhere to get these figures so that they would meet the parameters. I was never contacted, nothing. It was like a big zero. So to Mr. Perez's point, it isn't about Roy Humphreys, and it shouldn't be, because this is an affront to every constituent in this district, both sides of the freeway. Anybody, whether it's Roy Humphreys or anybody, to be treated in this manner, especially something of this gravity. And so what I did, when I realized this, and I did the 10% thing, and I realized I saw down here, there's 47 and all that, so I said, gee, whiz. And I looked at the parameters and I said, hey, you know something? They want to have them to be within the 10% thing, the largest and all that. So I said, well, if we take the southern half, which is illustrated on mine's the only map that shows that, hey, this is a dead zone in here. It's a huge physical barrier between the north and the south. And it's a cultural barrier also. There is a huge difference between the north and the south in their cultures, so forth, and their attitudes, so forth, which is one of your criteria items that you have on here. So as far as you want to get the item of being compact, and which are the compact and contiguous, the south is the south taken. And the numbers that were put on here for the 2 southern areas, the 1 and 2, are very close. If they could be adjusted, they would be almost exactly the same. And I think the gentleman has that capability of doing it. Then if we went on the south, and I just did basic math. Again, I'm no mathematical genius. I'm no PhD, okay? And I said, well, we take this, and we can actually divide this up into 3 areas, have the same numbers, and then what is it? My best math I came up, we could go anywhere from 7 to 9, depends on how that exactly worked out, on the variance. And on that, my map would have been the most accurate as far as depicting reality, the big cultural dead zone. And that's what you had now. Follow man-made and natural barriers. That's this map right here. The numbers that we could have gotten together and come on this thing, we could look, the lines would have been there, we would have had the variance and everything. Would have been the compact and contiguous, we have already hit that community interest, so we already hit on that. And these are all on here. And of all of the maps, the most truthful presentation to the public, not Roy Humphreys, get the personality out of it, but for the benefit of this district on north and south. This is it if it were done right with the right assistance. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to come forward and speak about this? questions from the board? Public hearing is closed at 7:49 p.m. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Education of the Roland Unified School District will consider seeking a waiver from the State Board of Education of the requirement that the establishment of trustee areas and adoption of a by-trustee area election process be submitted to the electors to set forth in Education Code Section 5019 and 5020. The board invites the public to comment regarding this matter. The public hearing is for all interested parties to provide comments only on the trustee area boundaries. Public hearing opened at 7:50 p.m. Would anyone like to come forward to talk about this?
For the district to ask for an exception to this would just be wrong, and that's a big no vote on that. Thank you.
Anyone else like to come forward? Public hearing is closed at 7:51 p.m. Organization of the board. To comply with California Education Code Section 35143, the governing board shall organize by selecting a clerk, vice president, and president from its members this evening. The board will nominate and elect a board member as the president of the Board of Education to serve effective immediately with said term of office ending on November 30th, 2020. Before I have a nomination, I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to be Roland Unified School District President for the last year. Thank you so much for all your support. Okay, now is there a nomination?
I nominate David Malkin for president.
I second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I get to stop and turn it over to
We're on item 8B, election vice president of the Board of Education. The board will nominate and elect a board member as the vice president of the Board of Education to serve effective immediately with said term of office ending on November 30th, 2020. Is there a nomination?
I nominate Angelina Pride.
Can I have a motion and a second?
A second.
Those in favor, or is there any discussion? No discussion, and those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Angelina Pride. Now we'll go to 8C, which is election clerk of Board of Education. The board will nominate and elect a board member as the clerk of the Board of Education to serve effectively immediately with said term of office ending November 30th, 2020. Is there a nomination?
I nominate New American, the next of the board.
Can I have a-
Second.
That was quick. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Edmonton. That is the board clerk. I will now turn the meeting over to Dr. Mitchell at this time.
Thank you. Before we take a brief recess and change seats, I would like to thank, on the behalf of staff and your board colleagues, Donna Friedman, for your leadership during 2019. I would like to share some of the accomplishments that happened under your leadership throughout the year. So, just a few, because we'd be here all night as we went through all of it, but just a few of the school recognitions that occurred under Donna Friedman's leadership in 2019. Roland High School was named a California Distinguished School. Telesis Academy was named a 2019 Los Angeles County Top Public Schools for closing the achievement gap. Academic scholarships and awards soared with our class of 2019, attending prestigious colleges and universities, and 7 of our schools were named honor roll schools. A few of our program accomplishments include celebration of the first year of District Mobile Food Pantry and the partnership with the Sue Chi Foundation. Shellen Elementary celebrated its 50th anniversary. I know a school near and dear to your heart. District expanded its career technical education programs and opened up beautiful state-of-the-art medical labs at both Nogales and Roland High Schools. We launched our district Roland Robotics League. Facilities continue to be built throughout the district, and the district opened the Roland High School new school library and administration building, and we developed the final plans in preparation for the Oswalt New School project. And as a legacy and a dedication to the work that Ms. Friedman has, one of the things that I know is also near and dear to her heart is meeting the needs of our students. We've expanded mental health and counseling services provided for our students, including our behavior support assistants, expansions of the BEST team, our outreach concern counselors at all of our elementary school campuses, increase in counseling interns and mental health support across the district, and finalized plans to open a new well-being center at both Roland High School and Nogales High School. So on behalf of your board colleagues and the staff in the district, we thank you for your leadership as board president throughout 2019.
We'll now take a brief recess.
The First Lady of them. Okay, we'll be starting the meeting again, second session. It's 8:02. We go to item number 9, discussion items, action items. We'll move to discussion and action items on the agenda. Number 9A is the California Voting Rights Act, CVRA, or discussion of the boundaries for the trustee areas. The first item is 9A. This item is to receive for discussion the 7 draft trustee area maps that have been proposed to the board and public by Cooperative Strategies LLC and the community members. Are there any questions or discussions on item 9A?
Do you need a motion? No, it's a discussion.
If the board has looked at all their maps, it might be now might be a good time to talk about eliminating some maps, but we need to have some discussion about that, I think. We've got 7 maps. Been looking at a lot of maps. So,
Since we have the attorney and demographer here, are there any questions we want to ask the attorney or demographer?
did Mr. Perez have some questions in his comments? Something about, his statements, let me see. I got too many pages. Yeah, his statement, sorry.
I don't believe you had questions, I believe you
It
made
was statements, I believe you're right. There was one about correcting his map.
Sure, so the original map that was submitted as part of the demand letter would not have been a viable map because the population variance was over 10%. It was just under 12%. And so, I don't know if we can put the presentation back up real quick and go to that. I can show you the area that changed. So I'll filibuster for a few seconds while that happens. But in order to bring it into that compliance so that the board could consider it, we had to make a slight movement of population between areas 4 and 5. So as submitted, it wouldn't have been viable. We made a slight adjustment. So if we go to the slide that has the map of scenario 5, I'll walk over to the screen and kind of show you the difference. But it was moving an apartment or condominium complex over.
Is it?
Wrong one. Keep going. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
The map, please. So if you look right where the areas 4 and 5 meet, where Nogales Road is, Nogales Street is at the top. So the map is submitted, used Nogales Street as the dividing line, so that purple area that crosses Nogales Street would have been blue, and that made that map out of compliance with the 10%. So we just had the purple area come in and take that, I can't remember if it was an apartment complex or condominium complex there, bring that into area 5 to bring up the population of area 5 and bring that map then into compliance with the 10% requirement. I'm not sure if by doing that it reduced the Latino citizen voting age population in area 4 below 50%. I didn't check it beforehand, or I don't remember the number beforehand, but that was the change that we made. We did submit that information to Mr. Perez's demographer, who provided the map originally. We sent him the shape files, which is the geeky demographer talk for the files that are used to make these maps. We sent that to Mr. Perez's demographer before the maps were made public, so they were aware of what the new quote-unquote new map or the slight revised map looked like that was going to be made public.
Did they make any comment when you sent that to them? Did they respond or ask for you to change it back or question what you had done?
No objections were raised. I think I got a thanks. Maybe it was the email. Something. It was just acknowledging that we made the change to keep it under 10%.
Originally, was there a comment that LA County had their boundaries drawn incorrectly? And that's why he thought his was right and ours was wrong, or no?
Not aware of that.
No, his comment was not regarding his map, and I had spoken to him afterwards, our November 14th meeting. LACO does not have the Orange County section included.
That's right.
Can we go to map number 6, please? So based upon what you've told us tonight, based upon what a community member noted at one of our community forums this week as well, and based on the information provided at the bottom of the maps, this map with a 43.14% population variance is not legal and just cannot be considered at this point. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. I would just point out with map 4, we did what Mr. Humphreys and what Mr. Perez suggested. We worked with their maps to bring them into accordance with the law. But with 6, it's just so far out of compliance. It would be a completely different map if we had to bring it up to 10%.
If it pleases my colleagues, then I would like to motion that we eliminate this map from consideration at this point based upon the fact that it is not in compliance, legal compliance.
Can you state the map number when you say that?
Map number 6.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Do we have a second? Any more discussion on that? We'll take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All those abstain? Map. Vote is to eliminate map number 6 due to the variance being too high.
I have concerns about map 5. After reviewing all of the maps, this also is out of compliance with a 9.03 population variance. And I don't think we could adjust it to make it useful for a district and remain in compliance. So I move that we remove map 5 from consideration.
Okay, is there a second for that motion from Matt?
I'll second.
Donna Friedman seconds it. Any discussion?
Would that be correct based upon the information that you all have provided with us, provided us with?
Well, it's under the 10%, but it's supposed to be 10%. But, you know, as part of this process, it's difficult for boards to eliminate some of the maps as they get toward the final decision, so that it's a little more manageable. So you have 7, if you narrow it down to 5, and in January, you look at the 5 as remaining, it makes it a little bit easier to make a decision.
Thank you.
I'm also thinking that on that map, depending on what the census comes out, if there's a slight change,
Yes.
it could cause us to have to redo everything.
That's right. By being a little bit closer to the 10%, if there is a shift in population, it's more likely that you might have to make a change versus a map that's, say, 4 or 5%.
Also, this one eliminates the complaint that one board member is in each area. So we don't have to worry about complaints about that if this map is eliminated.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, any more discussion? So we have a first and we have a second to eliminate map number 5. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Map number 5 will be eliminated. Any more discussion or recommendations? Questions?
Just a comment. I keep hearing a lot about the north side, and the north side, and the north side. I live on the north side of the district, and it's amazing to me some of the comments that keep coming up about the north side and the demographics and what's going on, and that's not the north side of the district I've lived on for almost the last 5 years, what I'm hearing in this today. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new census data does say. And I think, again, that's why we were hoping that we would be able to wait until after the new census data comes out. While there still are generally some pockets where it is a heavy Hispanic population. The part that I live in and the parts right across the street from me, which are in 2 different areas, like for example on this map, are very, very diverse now. So it's going to be interesting to see, but people make it seem like it's just some area that's all one population, and it's really not. Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on that. You know, you hear people sometimes speaking, they'll say the north side or the south side of the district. And some of these maps, there's a crossover where the north side crosses over to the south and south crosses over to the north. Yet we're still able to maintain the Hispanic and Asian majority over 50%. And to me, that's better than having a clear split between the two, because no one district is totally Hispanic or Asian. They are mixtures. And I think there's a benefit of having that crossover. So I actually think the crossover helps. The other thing is, we look at the percentage of those that can vote when we have the table. If you look at the total percentage, there's more Asians than Hispanics. But if you look at those that can vote, there's more Hispanics, no, the other way around. There's more Hispanics than Asians. But if you look at those that vote, there's more Asians than Hispanics. It flips. It's a very small flip, but it flips.
Some districts might have to look at the demographics.
Yeah.
But that tends to be because higher birth rate among Latinos, so more children under 18, and then a lower citizenship rate in some cases. So that's why there's that variance.
I think there is some fear of registering to vote also.
There may be.
So it's just interesting that it does do a flip. So we're going by the voting group or we're going by the population group?
So we're using both. For the total population, we're using that to divide the district into the 5 roughly equal areas. And then when we're talking about increasing voting strength, we're using an estimate of the citizen voting age population. So it's your universe of people who could register to vote. It's not actual voter registration rolls, it's people who could register to vote based on the census.
Any other questions from the list?
I'd like to just make one more comment. Mr. Malcolm, you were talking about the North and the South. And we live in an ever-changing world. And kids need to go to school together and work together, even though they live in communities that they want to be able to vote for one of their own. So I think some crossover between the North and the South is the best thing. For a long time, it was resented, that battle of the tracks. I don't know. Now that it's we kind of like it now. But I think as much as possible, we need kids to learn to go to school together and be part of the same communities.
Any more discussion? If none, we'll close that item and we'll move on to 9B, which is the resolution SO-19-20-06, authorizing submission of waiver to State Board of Education for establishment of by-trustee areas and by-trustee election method. That's item 9B. Can I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution SO-19-20-06, authorizing submission of waiver to the State Board of Education for establishment of by-trustee areas and by-trustee election method, which will provide authorization to the superintendent and or designee to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the district. Are there any questions or discussions?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? I was just wondering if you could explain what this waiver is, because there seems to be some confusion from the audience.
Yeah, prior to the passage of the California Voting Rights Act, there were provisions that were enacted into the Education Code which required the electorate to approve changes in the boundaries and so on. And then the legislature then passed the California Voting Rights Act, but they did not amend these code sections requiring the electorate to vote. And this created a conundrum because if the voters, the majority then votes to not vote to by-trustee areas, it's exactly what the California Voting Rights Act was designed to counter, which was to increase minority influence or minority opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. And so the State Board of Education stepped in and said, well, this falls within our waiver authority, so you can submit a waiver to waive those code sections. So virtually every school district that has gone to by-trustee areas has submitted a waiver and the State Board has granted it. And I know Mr. Humphreys spoke eloquently earlier about, the past civil rights battles in Mississippi and so on. And then he came up and talked about being opposed to the waiver, and that kind of runs counter to what he said earlier. And so the idea of getting the waiver, facilitates the move to the by-trustee areas and assisting minorities in increasing their voting power. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you for pointing that out.
The fact that it's called a waiver almost makes it sound like you're waiving the rights to be able to change to voting by area. So maybe that was where the statement came from.
Yeah, the terminology does make it a little confusing.
The waiver actually allows us to go voting by trustees.
Yes.
Okay, any more discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstain? Okay, the motion carries. Let's now go to item number 9C, first interim financial report. The next item is, can I have a motion and a second to receive the first interim financial report and certify that the district will meet its financial obligations for the remainder of 2019-2020 fiscal year and the next two subsequent fiscal years based on financial information as of October 31st, 2019.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a first and we have a second. And now I'm going to turn the meeting over to Dr. Mitchell at this time.
Perfect, thank you very much. And so as you know, that annually we need to have our first interim report. I asked Mr. Flores to share that information with you.
Good.
like Mr. Bixler to fix my presentation. For the first time. Board President Nolan. Board Vice President Price. Board members, Cabinet Arias, thank you for allowing me to make a presentation on the first interim report. I want to thank the board, before I start, for all the questions that I received regarding the first interim, in person or over the phone. Staff always welcomes your thoroughness and all the questions that you have, not just for the first interim, but throughout the whole year. And you are very stewards of our finance. I also want to thank Aubrey Craig, who's in the audience. Aubrey Craig, I do the presentation, he does the work. And this year he had to do double duty because our Corey had her baby boy. And Corey was the second set of eyes and did a lot of work also for Aubrey. But now Aubrey was doing it all and his extra set of eyes. And so I want to thank him in front of everybody for all the work that he did. Because along with doing the first interim report, he's also starting the independent audit. And there's a lot of moving parts that are taking place. So thank you for your dedication to this district and for the work that you do. The budget is a living document, and the document process is constantly in motion. As you can see, we're in the first interim. The next step is the 18-19 audit report that will be presented by our independent auditors in January. The budget cycle has 2 fiscal years and always crossing over. The audit report will close the 18-19 fiscal year, and the governor's budget proposal in January will begin the 2021 budget development. The first interim is required by the California Education Code. The first interim shows actual expenditures from July 1 to October 31st, 2019, and projections based on those actuals, budget activities, and other anticipated costs. This slide provides a big picture of the variances from the adopted budget and the first interim. Our revenue increased by $363,000. Our expenses decreased by $888,000. The net positive effect on our budget is $1.2 million. This is the amount that I shared during the unaudited actual presentation in October, that we would be better when I brought the first interim. The increase in revenue is related to unduplicated pupil count average. We had a growth in our average that resulted in an increased revenue of $363,000. Please note, this does not mean that we had more students, but just that our students' demographics changed. In this slide, we highlight changes in our expenditures. Service and other operational expenditures had the largest increase, such as property liability insurance, LA County Sheriff's, the web, video, vision, and charter bus services. Capital outlays increased, and those are primarily the additional safety vehicles that we will order. Excessive costs increased for payment to LACO and the Orange County Department of Education. Some reductions of expenditures were on certificated salaries, the decrease of result of staffing changes. A major part were the 5 administrators that we did not replace. Classified salaries, we had a reduction in overtime and extra hours and unfilled positions. And in supplies, we had a decrease primarily in non-classroom supplies. I want to note, non-classroom supplies on a decrease. There are 2 parts of the first interim. Now that we covered the current fiscal year, now we look the next 2 years out, otherwise known as the multi-year projections. These are the assumptions we use for the multi-year projections, including the COLA. We do not use gap funding anymore since we're fully funded, and also lottery. For some of the expenditures, we include the price index increases. And please note again, there are no salary benefit increases because we have no collective bargaining agreement at this time. The STRS PERS contribution that the district pays will increase by 1.3% in 2021, but it will reduce by 0.3 in 21-22, which is really good news for us. Unfortunately, the PERS rate continues to increase. So this is the multi-year projections. For this year, we project 126.5 million in revenue and expenditures, and close to 121.9 million, leaving a savings of $4.5 million. So our ending balance will increase. In 2021, our revenue will decrease by approximately $606,000 due to declining enrollment, but our ending balance will increase again by $3.9 million, close to $4 million. In 21-22, the revenue will increase by $1.3 million due to COLA being able to offset declining enrollment. With a smaller decline in enrollment, the increase in COLA is realized. It's sometimes, if you look at just the numbers as they're presented, in 2021 we see we have $125 million in revenue, and we have a larger COLA, and then we have a smaller COLA in 21-22, and we have more revenue. It's because there's 250 less kids in 2021 and only 100 less kids in 21-22, which is good news for us too, that we hope that our decline enrollment is stabling off. And now the COLA is fully effective, because before the COLA, with the decline in enrollment, you couldn't see the extra revenue because you had less kids. So I just went off a little extra on that, so I apologize. In this slide, the 36.9 million unrestricted fund balance is assigned in these areas. Please note, we no longer have a STRS and PERS set aside because the STRS rate will go down in 21-22. The set aside was reallocated in 3 areas: instructional program, material, technology, and equipment replacement. These set asides are very fluid. Now, I felt that it was really important that I added some slides this year in the first interim. Since the slides I just showed you over the 3 years don't incorporate any settlement agreement, so there's $4.5 million that were set aside before that. So I wanted to show you some different models, although this will be presented to the county. I just want to present it to you and to the public so that we're aware of what the effect would be. So this illustration here would show those $4.5 million that be spent ongoing. If it's spent, what would our ending balance be? So in 2019-20, our ending balance would grow by $72,000. In 2021, we would deficit spend by $721,000, and in 21-22, we would now be positive by $31,000. So that's if we spent the $4.5 million in 19-20, that would be ongoing through the next 3 years. So to me, that shows more of a clear picture of what it most likely would be. Now, I know the board has asked several times, different times by everybody, what would our ending balance look like if it was down to 20%? So this is a slide that I'm presenting to you to illustrate, in addition to the $4.5 million ongoing, what we could deficit spend in the next 3 years to be close to 20% ending balance. So in 19-20, it would allow us to spend an additional $2.1 million. In 2021, an additional $2 million. And in 21-22, an additional $2.1. Please note, for me to be able to calculate some of these things, I had to put it in either salaries or benefits. And when salaries increase, our contribution to restricted size also increases. That brings down our revenue for the next year. So when you see the revenue, it may look a little different. It's still the same amount of money. It's just that we have to increase the revenue, increase the contribution to the restricted side. So I felt a little confused when I did this presentation, and I think I needed to bring an additional slide together sharing all 3 of those. So if you look at this slide here, the top blue line row shows our ending balance and a percent, because the board has also asked, what is it, not just money, what is the percent? So as you can see in the first line, there is a compound effect of increasing each year that brings our ending balance up to $44 million or 36%. Which once we spend the $4.5 million the first year, that won't be there in the next 2 years. So the middle row, like I shared, really shows a truer picture of what are our finances when we spend the 4.5. That brings down our ending balance in the third year to 31 million or 25%. And the last row reflects what the board has asked, what would it look at 20%? And it's actually 20.23, and it brings down the reserve at 25 points, or basically $26 million. Now, I do want to note that when I calculate these percents and the ending balance, this is for just unrestricted. I do not combine the restricted ending balance, which will be my next few slides. So for our multi-year projection on restricted, we anticipate additional funds, revenue, and also additional expenditures that we debt is spending for the next 3 years with the restricted side. One of the questions asked is like, why do you not combine them? Because there's specific uses that these monies were put in, and like Medi-Cal billing, lottery, instructional material, which we spend most for our textbooks and the new adoption that we'll be having in the next few years that the Ed Services team is working diligently on. Our restricted routine maintenance, donor scholarships and grants that are given to our district, and some rental income and some carryover money from each school site that have not used all their funds from the previous year. So with all that, I'm happy to recommend to the board to approve the positive certification of our first interim report, as we will be able to meet our fiscal obligations for this year and 2 subsequent years. And at this time, I will entertain any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from the board?
Can you tell us a little more about some of our one-time expenses that you anticipate coming up that we'll be spending from reserves?
Yes, in the next, probably the next 3 years, we're working with Ed Services team that they're looking at 3 different adoptions that will be one-time expenses. There are some more white fleet vehicles that we're looking at as one-time expenses. And we're also looking, as a professional development, using some restricted ending balance funds as one-time expenses also with the expectancy amount.
Any other questions? When you said classroom expenses went down, what is classroom expenses? Is that like furniture or supplies?
I apologize, I meant non-classroom expenses. So when we have non-classroom, like if we have any materials like for custodial supplies, or there's different things that there could be some furniture that maybe is budgeted for that we're not going to need. We have a great director of purchasing that always is trying to power buy and try to buy things. So sometimes when we anticipate expenses on certain things and we get some better pricing, that saves. It's $200,000, but when you have 21 different sites, it's like $10,000 per site. So those are the type of things that we can save on.
And when you look at declining enrollment in the future, what do you use to determine that declining enrollment?
Well, we have different models. We have our own internal numbers that we look at. It's a 3-year average, and based upon the actual students themselves, because it goes with them tracking them down each year. And then we have a demographer, and the demographer provides us 3 different scenarios also. Then we cross-reference them and combine them to make sure that they're on. Very happy to say that the past few years, the model that we've used as a cabinet team together have been off by less than 0.5%. we hope to still be there because we're optimistic in the years out that maybe the decline is coming to leveling off, and that's real significant because in years past, when we were getting gap funding, we were getting additional funding for each student, so you couldn't really tell the effect on the decline in enrollment because we were getting all these new funds and they were offsetting it. So that was the example that I showed in the multi-year projections, is that when you have a steep decline, the COLA that comes in is not greater than the amount that you lose because of students. That's why in that third year, we only have projected 100 students to lose instead of the 250. And that's why you see the effect of the COLA, at least of $1.3 million more in that year.
Are there any more questions?
Just one. I know why PERS is going up, but why is STIRS going down?
STIRS, when it had the rate increase, it had a life expectancy up to 2021, and then it was going to level off and then come down. Also, the governor did some support to bring it down also.
Could you explain for the board and for the few audience members that are still here, on slide 4, the fact that certificated and classified salaries are declining? I think you and I have talked about this, but it might be good for everybody to hear.
Yes, the significant part of the certificated salaries is, again, the great work that we did with the team. We're looking at analyzing each and every person. When we develop the budget, we look at every person that is working at a site by name and by person and how much they make. And then when the school year starts, we get that same data sheet of the same school and we compare it. And when someone was working that was maybe on the salary schedule, and you still have 20 teachers and 20 teachers, but you replace them with some teachers that are not making as much, then that brings down the expense. But also, one of the greatest amount is because we chose not to replace 5 administrators. And those 5 administrators had significant impact on reducing the certificated salaries. When it comes to the classified, we were looking at overtime, we're looking at extra hourlies, we were looking at those, and also there was a little bit of some sub expenses that were forecasted or put into the budget, but quite honestly, there isn't that many subs when it comes to classified, unfortunately. So we're not going to book that we're going to spend that money when most likely we're not going to have subs to be able to put out at the sites.
And the hiring of new teachers would because some long-term teachers retire?
Yes,
Okay.
because people choose to retire, move on, and that's the reason why.
Thanks.
Any more questions? Okay, we have to take a vote on this. Those in favor of accepting the first interim financial report?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. The first financial report is accepted. And thank you, Mr. Flores, and your staff make you look good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aubrey.
A question for the board. We still have to go back to closed session, and it's getting late, and want to know if you want to postpone item 9H, which is discussion of the comment at Board of Education meetings, including the comment card for a future meeting, just to cut down the length of the meeting.
I would.
I second. It's fine.
Okay. You okay with that? Okay, so item 9H, discuss program comment at Board of Education meetings, including comment card revisions, will be postponed until the January meeting. Okay, and our next item is 9D, single plan for student achievement, SPSA, for consolidation of programs. Can I have a motion and a second to approve 2019-2020 single plan for student achievement for all schools enrolling in Unified School District?
I'll move. Second.
We have a move and a second. Are there any questions or discussions? Any more questions or discussions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. Salary payments, contracts, agreements, notices of employment, and other related documents and actions from January 1, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. Are there any questions? Okay, can I have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
I didn't say.
We have a motion from Ms. Pride, second. Second. Mr. Chen, second. Any questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstention? Motion carried. Item 9G, Roland Unified School District draft calendars for 2021, 21-22, and 22-23. The item is a discussion item and no fiscal action, no final action will be taken by the board during this meeting on this topic. The board has been presented with draft calendars for the next 3 school years. The process of developing the draft calendar proposals has been done collaboratively with the calendar committee consisting of representatives from ARE, CSEA, and management. Additionally, copies of the calendars have been shared with Roland Council PTA for their input. Are there any questions or discussions?
I just have a question. This is for the district and for events and holidays? Does it include board meetings?
No, it does not.
Oh, I just have a comment that you said that it's similar to this year's calendar. And I just want to think that it was excellent what happened with CSEA, that they were proposing something and they surveyed their people and then they came out with, they had that really nice meeting and they decided on that. So I thought the district did a great job with everyone collaborating together. That's all comment I wanted to say.
Any other comments? So we'll move on to item
People personnel.
Okay, we're moving on to people personnel.
Yes.
Well, that's my section. Okay, well, we're skipping item 9H, tabling it for the next meeting, and we're going to people personnel. Next item is 10A, Roland Unified School District student number 181902, readmission from expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the readmission of student 181902 to the Roland Unified School District effective January 13, 2020, for the placement at Roland High School?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 10B is for Roland Unified School District student number 181903, readmission from expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the readmission of student 181903 to the Roland Unified School District effective January 13, 2020, with placement at Nogales High School?
I'll move.
A second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 10C, Roland Unified School District student 181905, readmission from expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the readmission of student 181905 to the Roland Unified School District effective January 13, 2020, with placement at Nogales High School?
I'll move. I'll second.
Mr. Chen moves and Ms. Friedman seconds. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 10D, Roland Unified School District student 181906, readmission from expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the readmission of student 181906 to the Roland Unified School District effective January 13, 2020, with placement at Alvarado Intermediate School?
I'll move.
Second. We have first and second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 10E, Roland Unified School District student 192002, stipulated expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the stipulated expulsion of student 192002
from all schools and programs of Rolling Unified School District, effective December 13, 2019, with a referral to the county or alternative school outside the district for placement in an educational program.
I move.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 10F, Roland Unified School District Student 1920-03 expulsion. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the expulsion of student 1920-03 from all schools and programs of Roland Unified School District effective December 13, 2019, with referral to a county or alternative school outside of the district for placement in an educational program?
Move.
I'll second.
Ken moves, Ms. Friedman seconds. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, we move to the consent calendar now. Next is the consent calendar. We will approve all items of the consent calendar with the exception of any items that were pulled and separated or for separate discussion and action. And there was no items pulled. Can I have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries to accept the consent calendar. We now go to 10-12. Or 12, I don't 12. 12. Board representation and committee appointments. The next section is to nominate and appoint board members for board representation in various committees and organizations. 12A, appointment board representation to Los Angeles County Committee on School District Organization in October, November 2020. The board will appoint a board member as the official board representative to elect members to the Los Angeles County Committee on School District Organization in October, November 2020. Is there a nomination?
Lynn, would you like to do it again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, this is not this
When you serve done, but haven't had
I move that Lynn Evankamp.
Second.
Okay, we have a move and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. 12B, appointment board representative to IQ Academy, Los Angeles Board of Directors. The board will appoint a board representative to the Board of Directors, IQ Academy, California, Los Angeles, a Rolling Unified School District authorized charter school for the purpose of representing the Rolling Unified School District. Is there a nomination for the IQ Academy?
I'll move that Carrie Chen take that on again.
Second.
Okay, we have a movement and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Chen. Appointment board representative to the California Association of Large Suburban School Districts, CalSSD. The board will appoint a board representative to the California Association of Large Suburban School Districts, CalSSD. Is there a motion?
I enjoyed doing that last year, and I nominate Lynn Evankamp.
Okay, we have
I'll second.
okay, we have a first and a second for Ms. Evankamp. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 12B, appointment board representative, Los Angeles County School Trustees Association, Blackstone meetings. The board will appoint a board representative to the 2020 Los Angeles County School Trustees Association, Blackstone, to vote on the association matters and to communicate between the executive board, the association, and the local Rolling Unified School District. Is there a motion?
I nominate Angelina Pride if she's willing to serve again.
Second? For Angelina?
I'll second.
Ms. Friedman seconds. Can I have Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Ms. Pride is appointed to the next representative. Board Liaison, Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. The board will appoint a board member to serve as liaison to the Roland Unified School District Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, CVOC. Is there a nomination?
Do you want to still do it, David?
Sure.
Okay, I nominate David Malkin. I move that he take that role.
Is there a second?
A second.
Getting anxious here. Is there any discussion? And Zamina seconds it. Ms. Friedman first made the motion. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board Liaison, Roland Council Parents and Teachers Association, RCPTA. The board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the Roland Council Parents and Teachers Association, RCPTA, for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a nomination?
Ms. Friedman, you haven't been placed on a committee yet.
I know. Isn't that good?
And deliberate.
I need a break.
If you, I mean, I know Mr. Malkin enjoys doing it, but yeah, yeah.
You want to do it?
That's true. What? Which
For
one
the
are we
Roland
on?
Council PTA.
Oh, the community coordinating? Oh, which one?
No, the Roland Council.
Oh, what does it entail?
Association, it's one meeting on a Wednesday each month.
Yeah, it meets on a Wednesday.
Okay, would you prefer not to do it?
It meets at 7 o'clock.
You have more. Okay. Someone
I'll
nominate.
nominate Ms. Friedman.
I'll second. When will we get the dates? Okay.
Had a good pop up.
Thank you, Angie.
Okay, is there any more discussion on that? Okay, can I have, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, Ms. Friedman, you're now appointed to the RCPTA representative. Board Liaison, Roland Heights Community Coordinating Council. The board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the Roland Heights Community Coordinating Council for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a motion?
Would you three still like to continue doing that? Oh, instead of David. Yes, David, you prefer not to do that now?
It makes no difference. I go to the meetings regardless. But it'd be good for you to go to the meeting.
Okay, add me on.
Okay, so the nominations would be who then?
So you guys will rotate it between Ms. Friedman, Mr. Chen, Ms. Evankamp, and Mr. Malkin?
Will I be in the rotation?
Oh, if you want to.
Okay, I'll be in the rotation.
So it'll be rotated between the four of you?
Yeah,
And the
that
only
was
reason
fine.
why you're not is because you don't live here. You're
Yes,
welcome
I
to
live on
join
the-
us.
I live on the north side.
You want to join?
I'll come over sometimes, but I don't need to be in the rotation.
It'll be done maybe fewer times once a quarter. Okay, so we have a nomination for Ms. Friedman, Ms. Chen, Ms. Evankamp, and myself. Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, we have first and second. Any discussion?
Can we have the first and second same person?
We need a first and a second, two different.
Two different people, because you nominated.
Oh, I did. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So can, even though we're on it, we can second it? Okay, I'll second it then.
Ms. Friedman's, Ms. Pride first and Ms. Friedman second. Okay, any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Anybody want to abstain? Okay, motion carries. Okay, item 10H, Board Liaison, City of Industry. 12H, I'm sorry. Roman numeral was on my board today. The board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the City of Industry for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a nomination?
David, would you prefer not to do that since you're president now?
To be honest with you, I've never attended one of these.
You're what?
I don't know when the meetings even occur. Like the City of Industry Business Council.
Yeah, that's,
Did I do that?
yeah, are you still going to be doing that?
Yeah, because I'm a member of the Business Council.
Okay, I nominate David Malkin since he'll be
I
there.
second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions?
Notice he does this after Terry Malcolm left.
Well, she attends, she's a member also.
Oh, does she go too?
So the motion carries. Board liaison, City of Lochwanki. The board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the City of Lochwanki for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a nomination?
Angelina, would you still like to? I nominate Angelina Pride.
Okay, we have a nomination for Angelina Pride.
Second.
Then Amy Camp seconds that. Is there any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
As you get to item J, there is a correction that Carrie Chen had served in this role in 2019 for City of Walnut.
Okay, the board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the City of Walnut for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a motion or a nomination?
I'll nominate Carrie Chen.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Chen. Any discussion?
I asked him first. Yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Congratulations, Mr. Chen. You're representing the City of Walnut. City of West Covina. The board will appoint a board representative to serve as liaison to the City of West Covina for the purpose of representing Roland Unified School District. Is there a nomination?
Lynn, would you like to continue? I nominate Lynn Ebenkamp.
Second.
Okay, we have who did the?
Donna and Karen.
Okay, Ms. Friedman did the first, Mr. Chen did the second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, the conference section. We are now in conference section for the board members. We'll start off with Donna this evening with public comments.
Okay, thank you. First, I want to say I enjoyed the STARS presentation. I love going there. And I forgot his name, but he did an outstanding job. And Alvarado, that was really nice that they all came and spoke highly of what's going on at that school. And that class is amazing every time I've been in his class. Alex, Aubrey, Rosanna, and the team, thank you for the first interim report and a positive certification. I know it takes a lot of work, but we really appreciate it. The activities in schools that I've been to since our last board meeting was Mrs. McGrath kindergarten class at Roland Elementary had Reader Man come to surprise the students. He was fabulous. The students were so excited. They received presents from him, books and capes. It was really amazing. These students were chanting, "Read it again and don't give up." They have such a great foundation now that they will be very successful in their life. It was so much fun to watch. All kindergartners at Roland Elementary and Jellic Elementary have this outstanding experience, and both principals dressed up and switched schools, and they looked incredible. I went to the Roland Council PTA Quartermania, and it was lots of fun. It was a great fundraiser. Carrie won 2 items, and when a chocolate item came, I was like, that has David's name on it, and David won the chocolate item. Connections to the Future was outstanding, amazing. These students are so prepared for life and their career. They seem to have graduated from high school already, so professional, and they even made cards, business cards that I got from all of them, like, oh my goodness. Rocky was surprised to receive an award. Culinary students from Roland High School made all the lunches for over 200 people. I attended Math Family Night at Telesis, and I also stopped in at the temporary to probationary signing, where teachers seemed excited as I talked to them. Dennis and his team were there, were very organized, and this made it special for those teachers. The focused classroom school visits at Shell and Via Corta, Killian, and Jellic were great. We saw incredible lessons, fantastic teaching and learning, showing us writing and reading workshop. What a great foundation. At Oswald, the 7th graders had a medieval museum. They even dressed the part as they talked about their project. It was incredible. The California Clean Fuels Technology Pilot Recognition Students Teachers Program was recognized at the automotive classes at Nogales High School and Roland High School. A grant was received and only 16 schools in California received this recognition. What an honor for both of our high schools to receive this. I attended the elementary instrumental music. It was presented at a holiday band and string concert at Nogales High School. Students sounded great. It was a packed gym. I visited many schools, and I have finished my first round of visiting all of our schools, including Stars and Race, and I've started my second round. I observed outstanding teaching and excellent learning, and I am impressed with the education our children receive. Lastly, I want to mention Sharon Carrillo, who was the CVRA president. I met with her several times through the last 4 years, and we talked many times about her concerns about all of the CVRA membership, and she was very dedicated, and she really looked out for everybody, and she'll be missed. I just want to say I already missed sitting next to David since we were next to each other for 4 years, and so I miss you. But hello over there, President. I know we're in good hands. You're doing a great job, and I just want to say happy holidays to everyone. I hope that everyone has a great vacation full of happiness, love, joy, and relaxation.
Mr. Chen.
First, I want to say thank you to Donna for your leadership and for the last year. And it was very successful.
Social media next
our new president and the vice president, Nina. Congratulations. And thank you for your presentation and your staff for the hard work and for the report. And then attend CSBA in San Diego as the three other members and superintendent and the assistant superintendent. And I focused on the a few areas. One of them is the English learner and English learner roadmap, and the planning and implementing of dual language immersion program. Sorry, that's my hand. I'm backhanded, not you guys. Okay. I attend the CSBA in San Diego with the other board members and Julie, because the superintendent and the assistant superintendent. I focus on a few areas this year, and one of them is the English learner roadmap, and you see how we help the English learners. And then also I attend the planning and implementing successful dual language immersion program, and the other one is the EPIC for elementary, and there was a very successful event, and everybody learned a lot from the conference. There are December 4th and the 10th, we attend with the tour Sheldon and Hurley for the writing program, and Kellyanne and Jolly for the reading program. And it was amazing, the reading and writing tool foundation for the kids for their language and literacy. And for how young, and then you see the 4 and start from GK, they start learning writing, and they do build a very strong foundation from the very young age, and reading also. And I'm looking forward to see the math program next week for us to see that. And I attend the Chinese American Dental Association conference. The Chinese American Dental Association, since 2014, they send a volunteer dentist to Hurley to give our kids a free dental checkup. And they do it every year since 2014, within 5 years. So more than 700, almost 800 kids received the free dental checkup since then. So they invited me to attend their yearly conference, and I present them a appreciation certificate to say thank you to the society, and they will keep doing that in the future years. So many of the kids are underserved families. Most of them are first time in their life to receive a dental checkup, and that will make them realize how important the children dental is. So they will have a smile, keep the smile for the rest of the life. And the CRV, the community meeting in Alvarado, and seems the community is not very interested because not many community members attend. So I think we need to let community know more about the community meeting. Not only the other meeting too. So either the community trusts us for our decision, or they don't have interest to know about what has happened for these things. So that's it. Thank you much.
Ms. Evican?
The holidays are coming and we've been busy, but we're going to get busier. I attended the Roland Heights Holiday Follies at Roland High School, and students were disappointed because they wanted to use their new theater for the first time, but it's premature because it's not okay to use yet, but they'll be able to use it soon. The kids did a really good job. I went last year when it was held at the community center, and I really think that it was better this year than last year. So I enjoy going to the school programs. I also went to CSBA, and I think the highlight for me of all the conferences was the one on cybersecurity. I will be meeting with Dr. Mitchell again soon. I shared at least my handouts with her, but I have to transcribe my notes. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. There was a lot of good information, and I think there's a lot that our district needs to do to prevent breaches, malware, and all those kinds of things. So I'll be sharing that with her soon. Almost all the meetings on the north side regarding the voters' rights. I attended 3 meetings at Sunshine Park, 2 in the morning and 1 in the evening. I attended the one at Giano, which was last night, right? And so I think the north side has 2 nights. I think the north side has had the information. You know, like Mr. Chen said, maybe it's something they can't grab hold of and really be interested in. The people on this side of the community aren't that interested either, so all we can do is make it available for them. Tomorrow is the boutique here at the district. I plan to go to that. I used to participate in that because I used to do a lot of crafts and painting. But since I've been on the school board, I haven't done a darn thing. I haven't picked up a paintbrush or anything. You know, we've been receiving a lot of emails from the teachers about the negotiations going on. But if I get one thing across, I didn't think I had to say this, but this board cares. I've heard a lot of teachers say, do you care? This board doesn't care about us. We care. We care about this district, every employee, every student. And, you know, sometimes we just have to work out the differences. I'll be helping at the Rolandale Christmas for Kids, put on by the Rotary Club of Walnut Valley on December 17th at 2 o'clock at Rolandale. All the kids get to, Santa comes on a fire engine, and the kids get gifts and sit on Santa's lap and have refreshments. And it's a lot of fun. Donna, thank you for being our president for the last year. You did a great job. Welcome. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Ms. Pride?
First of all, Donna, I want to just say that you did a fantastic job. You really embraced your position, and you were just phenomenal. There's nothing that anybody can say about the job that you did that wouldn't be anything other than fabulous. And I truly mean that you did a phenomenal job. You set the bar very, very high for Mr. Malkin. And I think for even the rest of the super rare vets here. But again, thank you for your leadership and guidance and support, and for all that you continue to do for our district. Your dedication is unwavering, and you are appreciated. You guys can clap for her. The STARS program, just phenomenal. I just love it. And I have to tell you guys a quick story, because they go on their little walks all the time, their community-based trips. And so they came into Big Lots one day, not too long ago when I was in there, and one of the students walks past a mirror, and he stops and he looks in the mirror and he flexes and he says, "You're so handsome." And I looked at him, I said, "Yes, you are." He says, "Yeah, I know." But I just love talking to those students, the things that they tell you, and they're just so open and honest, and even maybe sometimes when you don't want the honesty, because they'll point out something, like I had a stain on my shirt, he pointed it out for me, but it's great. I love those kids, and that presentation was just great. I just love that program. So thank you for having them come in today. I'm going to keep this really short. One of the things, I had a director's meeting for the Los Angeles County School Trustee Association, and we're looking at how to better support legislation that will benefit the K through 12 and community college districts in LA County. That organization has really ramped up over the last year. It was slowly dying, but we've really rejuvenated it, and we're doing some good work, and I look forward to some of the other work that we're doing. And with that said, to my fellow colleagues up here on the dais, our cabinet, our CSEA and ARE, if there's legislation that you guys know that you want me to bring up at our meetings to support, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to bring it up if we're not already looking at it. Because we are really trying to make an impact for LA County and make sure that our voice is heard. And let's see, I think I have one more thing on here that I just wanted to say. I appreciated the comments tonight from Alvarado. That was really neat, and I enjoyed what the students had to say about their schools and how they benefited from being there on that campus, and from the support from the teachers and staff, and the dedication from the staff that were there, and how emotional they got about their students. That was fabulous to hear, and I appreciated all the comments tonight as well, the public comments from CSEA. I learned a lot from those comments, so thank you for that as well. And with that said, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy New Year, and happy winter break. I think I covered them all.
Ms. Pride yields the rest of her time to me.
Oh, gosh.
I usually don't have a long speech, but I do have one today because of the changing of leadership of the board and everything. I kind of felt like a roommate for Donna because we ran for office together.
Right.
4 years ago. So I kind of have a kinship figure. So 4 years ago, Donna and I joined the school board. What started out to be a board of 3 + 2 new and old members has now developed into a board of 5 team members. This cohesive team was made possible because we all have used the Roland Unified Vision as our guiding light when making decisions, and has always considered what is best for all students, not what is best for our own personal interests. Does that mean we never disagree? No. When I drove to the board meeting today, I took Kalima. However, I could have taken Pathfinder. Both paths would have gotten me to the district office. But just like driving to the district office, there are many paths that can be taken to get us to a goal that supports our vision and the board members. To support our vision, and the board members may not agree on the same path, but we get to the vision. This is where our board has excelled. Through discussion, we decide which path is best, and once a vote is taken, even though my path might not be selected, we honor that vote, and that path becomes our path. For this, I thank Donna Friedman for her leadership for the past year. I also wanted to thank Dr. Mitchell, Brandy, Dr. Zamora, and Dr. Rodriguez for arranging our 2 focus surveys for the reading and writing workshops. The visits were very beneficial and demonstrated the efforts of our teachers to raise student outcomes. Like the stock market, a steady trend line is better than a spike. Now I want to follow up on what Ms. Ebbinghamp just said about the letters. We all have received many letters. But I don't know if they received the same letter as I did, but I got a personal letter that attacked my not caring for the district. And it mentioned me specifically and had some concerns about me. I told the person I would not respond via email, that I would respond publicly because she shared the information publicly, from what I understand. So this past week I received many letters from various teachers at different school sites. I review each letter to better understand what the issues are. However, I feel that some of the letters are misinformed. I do not appreciate letters that accuse me of behavior that I have not demonstrated. For example, one letter from Oswald stated, Mr. Malcolm, I was told that you had derogatory remarks about teachers from Oswald, myself included, who spoke from our hearts and our minds of the issues we were facing. I don't even know this teacher, so why I included her, I don't know. You did not bother to follow up with us. The letter ended with, I've shared enough now, and I fear this is the way it was written, it was spelling. I fear I do not matter enough for you to read this all the way through and respond back to me. I do not wish to have an adversarial relationship. Therefore, there is a saying, when they go low, I go high. Being a board member is a task that assumes that we all assume because he or she has a desire to make the schools in their community the best and to allow children in our community to achieve their dreams. During the past year, I have personally contributed to many teachers searching for fundings on Donors Choose and Snap Rise, from Hurley, Roland Elementary, Villa Corda, Jella, Shellen, and the list goes on. I have personally helped fund exercise equipment, iPads, flexible seating, classroom libraries, etc., based on individual teachers' requests. This is in addition to the 6 scholarships my wife and I provide for Roland Unified High Schools students annually, and my Shoes That Fit program that provides shoes for elementary school children in Roland Unified. To imply I do not care and I make derogatory remarks upsets me. Please check donorschoose.org and Snap Rise and search my name and website and see how many things I have donated and the amount of money I have donated in the past 2 years and how many teachers I have supported in Roland Unified. I will continue to support the teachers in this manner because it is the students that will suffer when we get involved in negative discussions. I will continue to do what is right for the students and teachers' success regardless of the type of letters I receive from the teachers. Going on now, this past week I attended a 4-day workshop at the annual education conference. Dr. Mitchell was with me on the first day. I attended a full-day workshop on being a board president, and it was very productive. The other days were devoted to numerous classes regarding creating an effective environment for students' success. Yet even an old man like me is a lifelong learner, and learning never stops. I attended the Connections to the Future, an annual program that highlights students' career desires. It is always wonderful, a program that enables the students to share what they have learned about their career options. I also attended several of the holiday musical performances. Now, you recently shared with our senior Pathfinders that one does not have to drive far to enjoy the sounds of the holidays. The RCPTA also had a gift exchange, which Donna will participate in next year, and they had delicious food at their potluck. Finally, I am thankful for my fellow board members who have the confidence in me to serve as president. I've had mentors over the past years from all 4 of you during the 4 years, and you have all set the bar very high. With your help and your mentorship, I know we will have a very successful year for the students and the staff and the board. Thank you very much for your support. Now we have to return to closed session. We will return to closed session at 9:16 p.m. And that's it, right?
That's fine.